What if you lived in a world where tattoos mysteriously started appearing on people and you had to decode what it means before it's too late? Welcome to Kismet. Join us as we explore Boston circa 2094. In Kismet, we delve into a world wrestling with fate and teeming with zombies and cryptids. Picture this: nanomachines, also called cryptids, are infused into the land, air, and sea, even into our very bodies. They form a global mesh network known as the Net. Basically, it's Web 3.0. These mysterious tattoos, those are called stigmata. Stigmata aren't just ominous marks, they're concentrations of cryptids. They heal, protect, they elevate us. They even allow us to bend fate. As such, cryptids have become a global commodity cultivated endogenously and commercially. Chimera dust is what you get when wild colonies of cryptids proliferate. The real kicker: stigmata give you the power to manipulate the world around you. Think magic, but tech based. You can read minds, cast fireballs, and so much more. Those who make apps using cryptids, those are called gene techs. And when you use that app that a gene tech created, that's called code casting. Though cryptids favor humanity, chimera dust form creatures born from our collective consciousness. These chimera carry a core called animite that can be given, bargained for, or harvested from a chimera's corpse. The animite can be refined into rings which allow you to code cast a specific ability. The ability does vary wildly between chimera. Chimera come into two varieties. You have your zeitgeist and your nightmares. Did you run into a pixie, a cereal mascot, tanuki, or tooth fairy? That's probably a zeitgeist. Is something hunting you or terrorizing you? That would be a nightmare. Vampires, wendigos, ashwang, baba yaga, and Cthulhu fall into the nightmare category. In Kismet, your background shapes your story. Urbanites thrive in cities, outlanders survive in the wild. Reclaimed are zombies cured of the plague. They fall into the redeemed and tainted categories. And the hiveborn are cyborgs living in massive, self-sufficient citadels called hives. Factions, we got plenty of them. You have the free-living citizens, the city-protecting rot reapers, the country-defending soldiers, and the fate weavers of Kismet Inc. that help you decode the meaning behind your stigmata. Kismet is a transnational megacorporation who control the last AI this side of the Mississippi. Finally, we have the enigmatic Crypt Keepers and Pure. They have their own agendas. Crypt Keepers see Chimera as sentient beings worth protecting at any cost. In Pure, they want all cryptid technology destroyed at any cost. Let's talk about Pure for a moment. They're behind the last three global catastrophes. First, they caused the Gene Eater crisis. They had cryptids attack GMO crops. It caused a global famine. Then they created the Clappers. They turned people into living bioweapons that self-destruct with a clap. And yes, Pure is responsible for the zombie world war. Pure claims they were just trying to cull tainted crops and destroy rogue surveillance systems, provide universal health care. The jury's still out. That was the past, but let's talk the present. Kismet just received news that a new stigmata has appeared indicating catastrophic results for the Park Street Hive, the very same hive that is hosting the wedding of the century. The war hero, Henri Jean-Baptiste, responsible for curing the zombie plague, is getting married to Pushpa Patel, the lunar terraforming heiress of the Patel cartel. Their union virtually guarantees unfettered, unrestricted access to cryptid technologies on the moon. Pure is not happy, and they're the primary suspect. So ready yourself to unravel the mysteries of Kismet. Let's dive in and see where fate takes us. As a final note, due to technical limitations, Captain Clarence Jackson, U.S. Army Ranger, was not able to make it on screen to deliver what would have been a magical performance. Canonically, he is with the party. Sir, we salute you.
Hey everyone, welcome to the very first episode of the monthly one-shot series over on StoryTogether. I'm incredibly excited and perhaps even more proud after everything we've been through to get to this point to show you what we've all come up with. Now, if I can, please let me introduce the wonderful, the illustrious, the amazing Bennett, who is the GM for today's session. Bennett, let's rock and roll, brother.
Wow, with an intro like that. Oh, who needs better friends? All right, y'all. So today, we find ourselves in Boston circa 2094. Reality is a kaleidoscope of the familiar, and it's utterly transformed. Picture this. We survived the zombie apocalypse of 78. We got wild swarms of nanomachines swirling around like the Child's River on a breezy day. But here's the real kicker. Tattoos are popping up like Dunkin' Donuts in every corner, and nobody's quite sure what's going on, why these tattoos exist. It's kind of like the MBTA schedule on a Monday morning. Confusing as all hell, and rarely as you expect. So, Kismet Corporation, they're sitting pretty on the last quantum computer in town. They're milking everyone like the Sox on the playoff game. It's crazy. Our brave heroes for the day, many of which are stigmata users, those who have these tattoos, they're meeting at your good old neighborhood Dunkin's in the heart of Boston.
As one does.
As one does. I mean, what else are you going to do in Boston but go to Dunkies, get your iced coffee? Fia, you find yourself in, 2094 Boston isn't much different than the current version, except, we have a line that goes in a circle around connecting all the other lines, things like that. But you're sitting in Dunkies. What did you order, by the way?
A glazed donut and a chocolate glazed donut.
Great choice. You would probably, Fia would marvel as she's sitting down with her laptop open, looking at the various case files that Kismet has sent to you, the different dossiers. And you would marvel that if not for the AI, the Boston's AI, really the last AI on the Eastern Seaboard, all the operations in the city would be gone to hell. Like the anti-zombie, anti-cryptid defense system would be shot, but you're just happy to be in a nice, safe environment. Everyone else, can I just get a straight D6 roll? Let's see who took the tea today and who walked.
Nice to meet you, Captain Clarence. Welcome to the team. All right. Well, we'll wait for a few other folks to hopefully join us, and then we can brief everyone on what's going on and get right down to it. Okay.
If that's the case, give me a second. I just want to make sure I get my rolls right. Give me an awareness check real quick. Oh, 100% this would be necessary. In the back corner of the dunks, this is fairly early in the day. What strikes you as odd is that there is a little girl who seems to be sniffling quietly as she eats her glazed crawler. It just sticks out as odd because normally kids aren't crying once they have something sweet, but that's it. Nothing too crazy yet. And we got who was the next one up? It was my dear Martin, right?
Yeah.
4. You hardcore parkour your way through the cobblestone brownstones of the North End, desperately trying to get there on time. You notice large crowds as you make your way through the West End towards, down towards what was formerly Government Center after it got raised and, the big one. But You make your way down Park Street, and you get to the Dunks just barely on time, knowing that this is an important meeting. You're meeting with a Kismet operative who is, you do one good thing for them, and they're going to help you with your little problem.
Mm-hmm.
But you do make it on time. Would you burst through the door, or would you try to play it cool?
I definitely would play it cool. Probably, I'm probably used to being in a very calm and very like low energy, like, not sporadic movements, very like calm, not robotic, but just like smooth, for lack of a better word.
Give me a quick performance then. Let's see.
Performance?
Given given your nature, I think that is will be interesting.
So if I don't have that as one of the talents on my character sheet, how many dice do I roll?
You're untalented, just a straight
You're untrained,
D6.
my friend.
Just a straight
1d6.
I rolled off the table.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
a straight D6, good sir.
Hey, I got another 4.
It's cocked. You got a 4.
Yep.
After you were reclaimed, you can't really hold back large bombastic movements. Predators don't.
Yeah.
They don't sneak around. They don't worry about being unseen until they want to be unseen. You try to hold back, but you actually kind of almost like Leonidas kicked the door open. It bangs against the plasteel with a loud bang.
Got my my arms are
everyone
down.
Is staring at you.
I kind of look around, lower my shoulders, kind of bend my knees a little bit, and sorry. And I just kind of walk quickly to the other tainted or redeemed cashier or checker, and just kind of get to him and put a hand on his shoulder, and it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. We're okay. And I order.
Oh, you're jumping ahead of me.
I think my guy just is always trying to reassure, and he's always trying to everybody be calm around me. I know I've done some bad things, but everybody just be calm around me. They wasn't entirely my fault. I'm trying to redeem myself. And I would order the black coffee, sausage, egg, biscuit for myself, and which I hope that's a Dunkin' Donuts order. I'm not. I don't. There's none in my town, so I hope that that's a correct order. And then I order
it's the future, so
nice. And I also order a box of, or a dozen glazed, maybe something fancy on them, put a little sprinkles on half of them, put a little maybe frosting on the other, and I take my order and Were you gonna?
Well, it is that beautiful magical season where the air gets just a little crisp, so pumpkin spice is in.
Oh, nice. Pumpkin spice, a dozen pumpkin spice donuts.
Oh, great, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Go with the trends, right?
Thankfully, though your entrance startled many of the patrons, there's probably at least a dozen of them in the room, all at circular tables, some high tops, some in the booths. Your quick, almost awkward entrance actually puts people at ease. Typically, when they see your unblinking eyes, hangovers from the time of your infection, and you come bursting into a room, people think, oh, I'm going to be a human Happy Meal, not, oh, this guy's late for a job. So, thankfully, you didn't start a small panic. You do see a soldier standing at attention and what can only be a Kismet op sitting. I don't know, Fia, how would you feel about this entrance?
I probably wouldn't be too fazed by it. Also, I would have positioned myself probably to be facing the door so that I could see who's coming and going. So I definitely would have seen the entrance. I wouldn't have panicked about it, though. Just kind of would glance over and then glance back at my paperwork or computer.
Duly noted. Frank, Albert, you get to the door, unfortunately late. It's actually
No surprise.
hanging on a hinge a little bit. Unfortunately, you took the green line and it got stuck at Boylston. There was a police action. You never heard what happened, but you were late. It's unfortunate, but that's how it goes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and in this town, you haven't really been to Boston too often. You've been in other places, given your background. Albert, of course, you're familiar because of reasons. Mm-hmm. All right, would you go to order, or would you join your crew immediately, given you're coming late?
I'm a little bit of a space cadet by nature, so I would say I would actually probably go order, to be honest.
And Albert, how about you?
I think Albert would come join the group immediately.
All right, so let's focus the spotlight on Frank for right now. We'll come back to you in a second, Albert. Frank, you have two cashiers, one who is definitely can't even be bothered. Standard urbanite, just vapid trash that you're used to dealing with, hasn't had to have a hard day in their life. Clean fingernails, just all of those kind of things that you're just like, yeah, these kids, they don't know how hard it is on the Outlands. They don't know how hard it is in Western Mass. And you have one of the reclaimed sitting there, again, staring at you with the unblinking eyes, though seemingly willing to serve you. Who would you go to? Yes, Outlander.
I'm thinking. It's an interesting question. I would probably go to the one whose hair is the most tousled.
The most tousled? For sure, the Urbanite.
All right, then I would go to the Urbanite. There's no question.
Yes. Urbanite. Yeah. Can I help you?
Yes, I think so. What is this place again?
You don't know, like, Dunks? Like, are you even from around here? No, not with that tacky leather coat.
That is an interesting deduction on your part. I would like food.
Yeah, and I would like not to work minimum wage. So, what do you want? Do you even have the right money for here? Who let you in here?
Is there a way to visually kind of display like that I have cryptids? Like that I actually do low-key have money? Like that I can just show it like in like this sort of sense or whatever?
Yes. So, you could carry standard American plastic or, hard cash. However, you would display. Now, you can have the tech embedded in a wrist, or you could just have it on like a wrist watch device. But your cryptid count could be displayed easily if you want to flash it.
I would show them, like, I would put up my wrist and I was like, is this enough for food? And it's just probably like an overwhelm. It's like showing someone $1,000 for a cup of coffee, and they're like, "What?"
Easily. She's just like, "Oh my gosh, are you in finance?"
What's that meme going around right now? 6'4",
6'5", blue eyes,
whatever it is. Yes, I am, and that's why I need food for finance things.
Roll subterfuge. Oh my goodness.
Roll subterfuge. I probably didn't even do it. Yep, I totally didn't. I'm just too honest. I'm just like that guy. Let's see. Rolled. Actually, let's see. What talents could I throw at this? I'm a smooth talker, Bennett. I think that's pretty reasonable, right?
Yeah. No, go for it.
So then I have a 6 total. Watch out.
She just like. How tall are you?
I think I'm like 6'2". I'm pretty tall.
Oh, okay, yeah. 6'2", finance. Yeah, she's just like, I think you're the winner of our prize today.
A prize? Is it a stick?
No, and then you would, I mean, of all people, you would recognize this because in the Outlands, a root like this would be life, but she gives you an ambrosia mushroom.
Oh,
Typically, it's a mushroom, you squeeze it, and this gelatinous cream comes out, and if you sip it, it increases your cryptid healing factor.
then I would say, oh, I didn't know that we spoke the same language. I would scoop it, and then I would walk to the table.
Yeah, have your order soon. You can tell she's being pretty nice to you because she thinks that you're going places.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Too funny.
Back to our dear Albert. You see the Outlander that you happen to walk in with, smooth talking the cashier and getting what some weird bulbous mushroom, maybe, yeah, odd to you. You've seen a lot of odd things, lots of odd bits and ends, but whatever, you don't think about it too much. But you sit at a table, you do see another one of the reclaimed. Oddly enough, it would be very obvious to you. Actually, that's not true. Martin, do you carry any, like, bones of the things that you slayed or anything like that on you that would be very obvious?
No, I don't think. I think I'd go for. I was actually thinking about this a little bit ago. I think I would have the Rot Reaper insignia, like, big time on my tower shield. Or on however big my shield is. It's maybe not a full tower shield, but it's a large shield, and so I'd have, like, proudly displayed the insignia of the Rot Reapers, and I almost would even, like, sweep it around when I'm in, like, public places, like, see, I'm not gonna hurt you, I'm fine.
Albert, you look at this Uncle Tom looking reclaimed. You don't even know if he sees himself as tainted or redeemed, but all you know is that he actively kills people like himself, people like you.
Pleasure, son.
Good to meet you.
Standing
Can I
next to a
stride up
soldier.
behind them? Can I stride up behind them? And I'm just, I accidentally took a little sip. Not a lot. I took a little sip because I was feeling a little, having fun. And so
Yeah.
I'm in really good spirits. I'm like, hey, are you guys the team?
I believe so. I'm here to
Nice.
here to help out some people with a cause. I'm not really sure on all of it yet, but came here as quick as I could.
Yeah, I got a messenger pigeon, I think. That's what it looked like. I may have still been, you get it, obviously.
I get
My
it.
name's Frank.
Martin, good to meet you.
Oh, hey, Martin.
Give him the predator
Like,
I
handshake.
have no prejudice against Martin at all. Like, I'm just, like, very willing to clean dap.
Well, I'm assuming, are they close enough that we can hear
You're
this entire conversation?
fair enough. You're all around a round table.
Okay.
You can see each other. Mind you, Captain Clarence is standing at full attention, staring at the room, grilling people, scanning.
I
left
hand
to
my-
right, but yeah, no, you all see each other.
I hand my box of donuts around to everybody and make sure they all get one.
Nice.
Yeah, I would have waved them over as I saw them either come in and look around or get their order, place their order. Obviously, thank Martin for the delicious donuts. As you can see, I am a avid fan of donuts from Dunks, so I appreciate.
This just feels like we're trying to get an endorsement, like a very specific endorsement. It's like this is like as targeted as it gets. We're not even being subtle about the brand placement. Please.
Look, you can't have something in Boston and not rep Duncan. Like, that's how
You
it
should
goes.
have.
Where's my hat?
Again, you should have worn your baseball cap, the Dunks baseball cap. Like you found it in the wastelands and just like decided
Exactly. No, that I should have cosplayed. It was right here. I have actual merch, guys. Anyway,
Oh my
sorry.
gosh. No, will we sell out for Dunks? 100% apparently.
to. We know they're gonna last no matter what, right?
It's hysterical.
That being said, Fia does, identify herself as your, for lack of a better term, leader, operations expert. One of the remnants of the Golden Tower, where they rebuilt in its place a hive. It's the standard kind of hive that Fia, you were raised in, where it's this self-contained fortress. You have people who have lots of money who are legacies. You have people who were put there as a boarding school because they were found in the wilderness. But these hives are places of learning, but that you stay from like kindergarten all the way to you graduate, right? And she just simply points up there, and apparently, though Fia hasn't gotten around to it yet, no shade intended, that is apparently there's already protests there.
Question lore-wise, for those as part of the pure group, if someone were to be tainted, would they be so against the use of cryptids that they would allow that person, like they would prevent that person from getting cured?
Can you run that by me one more time, just to make sure I understand your question?
So like the pure faction, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want a world free of cryptids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would they be against using cryptids to cure people of being tainted?
I think that with any group, there are multiple factions, and some may feel one way or the other. But at the end of the day, for their pure and blue world, they want it all eliminated eventually, so that there are no victims.
And the couple that we're supposed to be, are they in the dunks? Or
no, you are meeting your team here in the dunks, and you have all of the team's passes to get inside the hive. They're generally mini fortresses anyways, but you have the passes to get inside the hive, meet the bride and the groom.
And then are we just like their security team, or are we trying to investigate something above and beyond that?
Nope. In typical stigmata fashion, someone gets a stigmata, they get that tattoo, and something bad's going to happen. Basically, the AI at Kismet someone came in because they just got a new stigmata, and the AI determined that means someone is trying to hurt the couple. Now, this couple is the premier power couple, right? Pushpa Patel she's of the Patel cartel. She literally, her family is helping terraform the moon. They're using cryptids, but they're terraforming the moon. Now, Henri Jean-Baptiste of New Toussaint, the island formerly known as Hispaniola, he was actually the guy who created the first technique to help people come back from zombieism. So this would be like the Meghan Markle of the day meeting, Prince Henry. Like it's a huge event. But what you can put together, and I'll just give this to y'all for free, people are a little upset that apparently even some of the reclaimed will be allowed on the moon. And Pure is protesting that, amongst other things. You're just trying to make sure that nothing bad happens at the wedding. Because if they don't get married, if someone gets killed because terrorist attacks happen, you already know about the other terrorist attacks. They've attacked plants. They caused the zombieism. Pure did. So they're just concerned that something will happen at this event, and the people attending the event, both families, are likely going to be the first colonists on the moon. So, and they're some of the best and brightest. If they go, that's going to set them back hundreds of years.
Can we get a breakdown, or what? I don't know if Fia would know this anyway, of where specific, like what's the course of events in terms of like what's happening for the wedding itself? Where are they going to be? What space are they going to be in? How many people are like? Would Fia know that? Like,
you would have to go. This group was kind of put together last second because someone got their stigmata last second. That being said, you'd have to go talk to the wedding planner.
They don't have any. But they've got to have like regular security detail given the high. Like,
they certainly do.
level.
And the only reason you're being let in is because you're from Kismet, and you're known to solve these kinds of problems.
Okay.
But their regular security would not talk to you over an unsecured channel.
Okay. So I think our first order of business is we need to get to the location and inform the existing security team what the concerns are, and then get a lay of the land and figure out.
That sounds like a fantastic idea.
Let's do it.
How much as the team being gathered versus the project leader, how much does Fia know? Or I mean, like, we don't need to meta it, but I'm just curious, how much are we being gathered here and have also been briefed on the mission?
No, so basically, for those of you who have a stigmata, you know that getting one usually, yes, you get phenomenal cosmic power and nice fun abilities, but it usually means something very dire. And really, the only way to really figure it out is using the last AI, which Kismet controls. And you just hold on, sorry.
Poor Bennett.
You received a message on the net that just said, hey, we're from Kismet. If you help us with this one mission, we promise you we'll help you figure out your stigmata. So it's pretty much quid pro quo.
Awesome.
Bennett, you missed a classic Oblivion reference with the Dark Brother at hand. It just says, we know.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's what you really needed there.
Yes.
And that gets all of us. So basically, it's like, if we help Kismet defend the wedding, they're going to help us with our stigmata. That's the quid pro quo. That's what you're saying. Yeah, that's fine.
Exactly.
Knowing what the group does know and doesn't know, and what Fia knows and doesn't know, I would fill them in on everything that I'm aware of, what our overall mission is, and what the next steps would be.
All
and
right.
try to start making our way.
Martin would ask, does everybody know that Pushpa Patel was just let out of jail? Does everybody know that? Is that because that's kind of suspicious? Something might be going on there, and the families that might be at this event probably aren't the swellest of people.
Out of jail for what?
She was rounded up? I think I was one of the ones.
Battery.
Yeah,
she was arrested.
She was arrested and she was out of jail, and I think Martin would just add on the end of that is like, you don't usually see too many people come out of jail once they've been in. So this has got two levels of suspicion going on.
Would I be able to connect to the net and gather more information on that?
You certainly may try.
Okay.
Depends on, are you just contacting the Boston AI? Are you contacting someone specifically, some contact that we can just figure it out? Or are you just using ABC company technology? Like, what are you doing?
How I'm assuming it's based on the way that Martin was describing it. It's not widespread knowledge that she just got out of jail or even went into jail to begin with, or how well known is that news?
You have never heard of this, and you're shocked that it didn't make the wider news.
Okay. I'm trying to think if Fia would have a contact.
Well, it depends. What are you trying to specifically determine? I'll let you know if she would know something like that or have a contact.
Why she was put into jail and why she was released, the details behind.
I would say that you could look up the local crime report. Like I said, you can always ask the local AI. You're gonna have to convince them. It takes on a more masculine persona, but it's an it. But yeah, you could check the local public records too, if you wished. I mean,
it's probably not going to be on public records if it's
smart cookie.
I'm still trying to get a feel for what code casting truly entails, but what could I use code casting to delve in a layer deeper into the AI to try to find that type of information?
Oh, interesting.
like hacking?
Yes, it would be like, so give me a second, coughing.
I feel like you're trying to hack into the CIA right now.
Yeah, basically from a
I
Dunkin'
don't think
Donut.
it's worth it. I think we should just waltz over there. I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
I mean, can I do that? Can we be on our way, like in transit to the location of the wedding, like as we're talking and as I'm trying to do these things? Like,
You certainly, given your proficiency, you may try, but it will be harder because you're moving. But yes, you could try.
Okay.
The cryptids, they're nanomachines. They form a mesh network, functionally a universal mesh network across the globe, so everything is connected. However, if you go against an AI and you piss it off, that has its own fun consequences, but you certainly may try.
I mean, I do have master code casting, so there's that.
All right.
Could I use a science skill for this, or would it have to be specifically electronics?
I'll allow you to use either in this case.
Okay. So
they're both kind of meeting in the middle here.
Okay. So as we're walking, in order to give myself the best chance to be successful, I'll just, as I make the roll, I would say, like, please just wait a moment, like, so that I'm stationary. All right. Ooh. Okay, so
from
12...
your perspective, she has like her glasses on and she's like just moving and like doing cheerleading motions in the middle of the street as she's walking with you. What else?
Nice.
Don't worry about it. So I got an at 12.
Wow.
Yeah, because like of the 4 dice that I rolled, what is it?
The first 2 dice are what count.
Okay, sorry. So then technically I got 2 6s and then plus, so 20. So I can add a +8.
It's a large number.
Wow.
Nice.
This is gonna get interesting.
You want a happy
on the free universal public Wi-Fi, because of the G that you are, you manage to open up a back door in Boston's AI, who typically personifies as the Green Monster.
That's cute.
Yep.
Love it.
You cast your consciousness deep. It's kind of like being a mouse under a huge prowling lion, and you're like skittering beneath its feet. That's the depth of what it would feel like and look like in cyberspace. As you dive deeper, you're going to find private archives. What are you looking for?
Specifically, why did she get arrested, and who or what allowed her to get out?
Ooh, you ask great questions, Thea. How do I answer this? What? So she was arrested officially for assault, battery, and prostitution.
Assault and battery on who? And yeah.
Who let her out? We're gonna deal with that in a second. You would see the odd thing with that roll, because you see a lot. The thing that would be very odd to you is that you see that she was placed in permanent detention. But you also see that all the news reports say that she was out the next day being a debutante, talking to people. And you don't know how to get the information to square up in your mind. But when you try to find out who let her out, you see what looks like a digital version of a stigmata, and it is a closed eye.
Oh, interesting.
Do you say any of that, Fia?
Yeah. I mean,
then I'm going to say, the second you say that, I'm going to become uncharacteristically serious for a moment. And I'm going to say, the closed eye in the countryside is probably what I would say to someone like you, a city flicker. I would say the closed eye is a way of demarking creatures that are traumatized and feral. It's a way of nature's way of marking traumatized and other feral creatures.
And so we're saying that she has, or she was released by someone who has a stigmata, or that she has that.
Think of
It's
it
not
more.
a stigmata. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, think of it more because it's hard. It's a digital space, right? So imagine you're skittering along in your little mouse form, and then you're scrabbling through pieces of straw, which are different articles, different things, different veins of information.
Yeah.
And when you open up the last hole, you hit a wall, like a digital firewall, and on that digital firewall is what clearly isn't inked. Like, it would be clear to you as day. It would look like a stigmata, like tattoo, but that tattoo is a closed eye.
Okay, gotcha.
And the closed eyes
So
represent.
it's like basically you hit a digital firewall.
They're ways to mark creatures that were traumatized and aren't. What did you say they're marked for, Ian? Or Frank?
Yeah, Martin. This eye is a way of nature's course, saying that a creature is either feral, becoming feral, or deeply traumatized along that road. It's very, very concerning. I mean, obviously this is pretty seriously concerning. I would say, do you mind if I, Bennett, make a roll on intuition here? Do I intuit here that this is something capable of spreading in an urban environment like it would in nature?
You certainly making me an intuition roll for that. Let's see.
Rolling. Unnatural 12 plus.
Okay.
I think this isn't really a Chimera Protector talent. I would say this is more like Nature's Servant. So I'll give myself +4, so 16 total.
With that roll, because there would be scales of what you might know. The thing that's odd to you is, until this point, like you said, you've only ever seen it in the Outlands on creatures, particularly creatures that have some kind of healing factor, white griffins, unicorns, things like that. But again, as they're going feral, as they're going berserk.
Yep.
To hear it in this context would make almost zero sense. It's something that you associate the wilds. You've never
with animals. Yeah,
you've never seen this on a person, on a wall, nothing like that. You'd be like completely confused.
What I would suggest is that there's two possible outcomes from the wild's perspective. Number one, that this isn't a person at all. That this is a chimera in a person's form who got this brand and is close to turning or becoming feral, right? That's honestly my best guess, that whoever bears the brand actually was not born as a human, or this is an entirely new disease which has kind of transmitted across species. That's my honest perspective.
Sorry, can you remind me again, lore-wise, what does it mean by like turning feral within?
I mean, I think he's using it literally as the creature, because like some cryptids are anything, right? Like Yeti, Chupacabra, like whatever. Some are scary, like they're nightmares.
Yeah.
Some are, benign, they're zeitgeist. But I think in this context, Frank is just saying literally feral. Like some creatures that would be like a brownie, for example, in Irish lore. They clean your house and they'd only want sweets from you. Something like that, just suddenly stabbing you, like Dobby the house stabbing you is weird. So he literally means they're going feral.
Right. Okay, I think I remember, I think you had put that, like, zeitgeists can become nightmares if they turn feral or something like that. So, like, okay.
So this would basically be a zeitgeist that evolved or became human and is now, unfortunately, regressing. So it could be that they're a test subject, right? So think about if you're a zeitgeist that is a human with human powers, because zeitgeists can take myriad forms. But what if they hit the sort of apex of their evolution and then started to seriously regress, and then this brand appeared? that would be a very serious concern because then they're going to turn, and that's obviously bad news for everybody.
Can Zeitgeist take the form of humans? Is that like
your
a normal-
knowledge, this would be completely mind-blowing new information.
Okay.
But the Outlander says otherwise.
Yes. It's possible.
Okay.
Rare, but possible. And I would try to say this without a derision because I'm in a different company, but I would say with the experimentation that's been taking place that affects us in the wilds, it wouldn't surprise me to learn that this type of work had been done.
Okay.
But yes, it's possible.
And then Albert, you were going to say something too?
Albert fancies himself a bit of a historian. Is there any useful information he might glean from that description?
Which part of the description, just so I understand?
The closed eye,
Mm.
in particular, seems more of a historical reference.
And so maybe let me get your question one more time because I need to determine what kind of role this is. Your specific question is what?
So, Albert is a historian. I would assume it would be a history role,
Right.
but he's looking for a significance. It doesn't necessarily have to be,
Right.
literal significance, but maybe a.
Let's see. Given that you're a historian, you've tinkered with odds and ends and little bits throughout ages, you may have come across this. This is going to be an incredibly difficult role. But if you want to give me a history, by all means, you can.
I rolled a 5.
This, it just eludes you. You don't think you've ever seen this in either life.
Interesting.
Yep.
Can I do in either maybe awareness or intuition to see if I've noticed this closed eye stigmata or even insignia on any of the weird stuff that I've been dealing with lately?
This, I actually think it would still be a history check for you, but go on. Yeah.
Okay. I don't have that either. So is that one? That's 1d6. Nothing.
Just 1d6.
Big money.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, got a 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, mind you, there's an upper end on what you can actually, do with a 6, right? You're not.
Yeah.
You just don't know what you don't know. I will say that as a Rot Reaper who, you protect the city, you're intimately aware of Boston, you're part of the 6 brigades that protect against incursion. Every once in a while, when you're doing a cleanup effort just on the outskirts of the city, maybe something washes up on a child's, you'll find a vial or scrap metal that has that symbol. And it's one of those things that had someone not said something like that to you, you probably wouldn't have even thought of it. But you're like, oh yeah, that weird eye thing that comes up once every 2 years, maybe.
I would say to Albert, I've seen that sign a couple of times, washed up on the beach, or I found a vial with the sign on it. Not sure where it came from. I don't know if that can help you decipher more about it.
It's on the tip of my mind. I just can't remember.
It's funny because you were the one I was hoping would roll high on that. But yeah, it's okay. You're the chosen one, but it's fine.
We just need to be vigilant.
Yes.
I think as we reach our destination, make sure that the creatures and people that you see around you, just be observant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll be all right.
You make your way up the cobblestones following the Freedom Path, which was redone about 50 years ago to make sure that it goes through the Hive, as well as the Old North Church. But that being said, you arrive. There is indeed a protest. Half the people holding up signs of the planet Earth and the moon, for our pure and blue world, for our pure and blue world. They're screaming out with rage and venom and passion and all of the things. It's rare to see pure members out en masse, but they are here protesting this wedding, protesting this union. On the other side, you see various people from different backgrounds there. You arrive at the gate. You certainly could try to say something to the crowd, or you could just walk through the gate. Flash, you have the badges. What do you do?
I'd just like to awareness. I want awareness and see if I see that weird eye. My awareness is a 3d6 one, so is it just the 2 highest d6s? Or how does
Yep.
Okay, the 2 highest, and then I add. Yep. Do I add anything to that?
Whatever your applicable talent is there.
Oh, okay.
I should have had y'all roll for initiative to see who. That would have been cleaner. Apologies.
I just got an 8 on my awareness. Just looking. I'm specifically looking to see if I see that weird eye. Yeah. Okay.
I believe it was Jonny next. Yeah. So Albert, nothing for you.
Well, Albert would just sort of say under his breath to the group, "It's a shame to see so many people wasting their time in a protest like this. Shame."
Yeah. I agree, brother.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I have no idea what's going on.
Accurate. Outlanders out here like, yeah, why y'all always fighting? You're in this like nice clean city. Like, what's the problem here? Mind you, whether Rot Reaper, Martin, you do get some level of respect given people would know you here. They know that you protect them. You have the insignia. You wear it proudly. Albert, you're an unknown quantity, but 2 reclaimed walking together, you can't help but look like nothing less than a pack of wolves on the prowl. Everything about you, it's like an artist in love with their creation. You're perfected in form and function in the way you move. The cryptids empowering you, guiding your movements to be that apex predator. It's terrifying. Most people don't remember what it's like to be not on the top of the food chain. Your mere existence reminds them as such. They quiet down a little bit at your passing.
Can I use like the AI again? And like code casting to see kind of like what I think what Martin was trying to do to see if like can the AI can the cryptids help identify if that symbol is present on anyone or anything among the crowd or the people standing around the crowd?
Well, the cryptids in and of themselves aren't sentient. They're more like carriers of signals and things. Like they have, like they're going to say like, oh, heal human, help human.
Yeah.
Like, but they're not going to actually have, it's only when they're together in the net that weave, if you will, that they actually have a collective consciousness. Or I should say, yeah.
I think what she's trying to do, if you don't mind me paraphrasing, is obviously everything that's happening right now is being recorded. The AI using video technology should be able to parse through all of the recordings simultaneously that Fia can't see. But if she has this back door, surely she could hit the the available recordings, even if they were public. You should be able to scan for a very specific style of image fairly quickly.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah. That's fair enough. Sophia, just so that I understand your intent further, are you going to try to reuse the backdoor you used before, or are you going to actually just message the AI directly?
I guess what's the difference? Is it like
you're talking with a sentient sapient mind, and the other one is just you sneaking the documents out the back door. I think it makes a huge difference.
Sapient mind? Is that a Freudian slip? How is the AI sapient? That's a little creepy. Except he's the floating brain somewhere, dog. You're scaring me over there, man.
It's Molson
We don't
brain.
need any more floating brains after
Yeah, after Fallout.
yeah, or BD3. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go the sentient brain route. I would just want to like utilize the AI and codecasting to do that scan of that particular image.
You certainly may try. Go for it.
So same combination, science, master codecaster.
Yep.
One talent.
Go for it.
All right. I think that's another 16.
16.
I have an animite chart that gives me +2 codecasting, so that gives me an extra life boost.
Whereas before you skittered around the ground, this time you can tell the AI has noticed something isn't right, though it hasn't noticed you this time. As it dogs your passage through the digital landscape, you search through its records. You search for the symbol specifically to see where it's recorded.
Within the people of the protesters and then like the surrounding. Although, sorry, and I'm curious, like, why is it the fact that I'm asking about that specific image that is causing it to like raise concerns, or just the request to look for an image in general?
So it's both. It's that specific image is going to cause you problems, which I'm going to detail in a second. But additionally, you're literally like, imagine if you hacked into the U.S. National Defense mainframe, someone would have words with you, right? It's the same thing, like, but it's an entity, right? So it's like, what's this?
But not all can. So can any Hiveborn not do that though, or is that specific to?
No, you are a very special snowflake. Okay. What you're pulling off is almost unheard of.
I see. Okay, noted.
Yes. Okay. I would actually argue if it wasn't the fact that you were Hiveborn and related to Kismet, so you would have a deep knowledge of the quantum computer, like how it like sends data, I wouldn't even let you roll for it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, you're making the impossible possible.
Cool.
Yes. That being said, I need you to make an athletics check.
Okay, so I have a proficient talent of parkour. Can I add that to my roll?
This is not that kind of roll. It's when you search for that specific image, you functionally hit a digital booby trap, and your body is now being attacked physically.
Can I use my talent of cool, calm, and collected?
Yes.
Cool.
Nice.
9.
9. Isn't that 3 talents? Cool, calm, and collected.
I know, right? I know. I should have gotten a little bit more judicious on the talent, but you know, I was being nice. It's a one shot. Fia, for the briefest moment, you get to see the symbol. It's as if the system itself, the actual net, is fighting you, and it's very odd to you. It's like false trails, and you're chasing it all around. It's like chasing the golden snitch. It's all over the place. While you peer through, I don't want to say the veil necessarily, but while you start getting data, you suddenly feel as if liquid fire is being poured down your throat. And as the pain grows and gathers, you feel as if your eyes are being gouged out, and that there is something eating you from the inside out. The very cryptids of your body are resonating, and not in a good way, with this. And then, when you think the pain can't get any worse, the screams, a chorus, a dirge of pain and malady and sadness just almost overwhelms your senses. You can taste the pain. It's unbearable. Everyone else, you see Fia hit her knees, blood immediately starts coming out of every orifice, eyes, ears, everything.
I would
And
immediately
you see, yeah. God, wait,
No,
the last thing you
finish
see,
it.
Fia, is you just see rows and rows of bodies being tortured, and then you get kicked out of the link. The link gets burned out.
Am I coherent enough to communicate that?
Not right now. You're not.
I'm gonna give a.
Let's pick her up and move her inside.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'll do an angel wing heal, like cleanse or yeah. I have field medic training.
Oh yeah, you're the perfect person for this. Go ahead, buddy.
Cool. So then that would be. This is going to be okay. So heal, I do have 2d6, and then heal is +4. So I'm going to do 2d6 +4. Oh wow, snake eyes. Martin's just like, I've never seen anything like this before. We gotta get her out of here. Help pick her up and carry her somewhere.
Violently coughing. Yeah, you toss her on her side so she doesn't gag on her own vomit.
Jesus.
Can I give her some of that ambrosia you gave me, Bennett?
You certainly may.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, you administer it. Given you're an outlander, I'm not even gonna have you roll. You've done this before. You've seen people get hurt by things. This is bad. And if anything, I would say less Martin, because you got the field medic experience. Albert, this would bring you back to a different time where you were, much like she, helpless, and people were bleeding, and there was nothing you could do. It would remind you of that. But Fia, you blink, and the sunlight rays stab your corneas, and you gasp from the pain of it. You're gonna have a migraine after this. But you are conscious and seemingly healed, albeit snot and bile and other humors stain your clothes.
I would immediately try to communicate what I just saw and experienced to the rest of the group.
Well, it sounds like something doesn't want you in there. So let's stay out of there until we know more.
Which
so
is
that
what he said.
because you are by far the most important person here. How about that?
Albert is just holding back tears, speechless, and it would be obvious for what it's worth.
Yeah.
So is there maybe
reclaimed cries? It's a sight.
Is there like a little safe spot or a building that we can like maybe? Are we? I guess are we? I felt like we were right in front of the protesters when they saw that, but maybe not. Did the protesters see that?
Were. They saw it. They just someone assumed that you were attacked, and then so you dragged her inside with security because she had the tags. But you kind of started a mini riot outside, but that's someone else's problem.
We already have a legacy of that's great.
Nice. Drive the crowds crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You drive me crazy. I just can't see. My eyes are burning. Anyways.
So let's get her back on her feet, and then we need to proceed with... Well, first of all, she needs to be presentable. She can't bring us to her client.
Yeah, that's true.
Like she's looking. So I would have, maybe some things to help, but I don't know, perhaps Martin or Albert have a few more pieces of supplies. Maybe Fia herself does. to make her look a little bit more presentable before we meet the betrothed.
Who's trying to help clean her up?
You said that like I would be wearing a. Oh, go ahead.
Can I use my cryptids as like almost like a prestidigitation to clean her up with my heel, or is that not? Is that too?
Not quite how that one works.
Okay.
No, it's more of a bodily, spiritual cleansing, less of a physical one.
Okay. Yeah.
So would a heal roll be appropriate here? I also have an artistic talent.
I will actually call this a crafting roll.
A crafting roll. Perfect.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I want to help because I have a talent that you gave me called Resourceful Rebel.
Yes.
I feel like I need to be resourceful. I'll use my turn to add 2.
I'll tell you what,
Albert.
if you can give me a viable explanation of how you would assist in him cleaning up the hot mess that Fia has become, I will give him the
like finding, improv bandages, cloths, to get the blood out. Like maybe it's like, a cleaning agent I could find, things like that.
All right,
I can scavenge for him.
I'll tell you what, give me a navigate roll, and I'm gonna, based on how well you do, I'm going. Yeah, you're navigating this unknown place.
Martin's got I have a first aid kit as one of my, that's got bandages and stuff in it for sure.
All right, so Martin, you're working on cleaning up her like physical wounds.
Can I add the plus 2?
Roll. You're field medic, you got this. Yeah.
Can I help Jonny or Albert?
Yeah, so what I'll do is, given you're just the field medic, I feel like it's a low pressure situation. I'm gonna modify the DC based on the fact that you're helping, and then it's further modified by Outlander. So what's your crafting roll, Albert?
I think with including the talent, we've got an 18.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
So this hive is very posh. They have like silk bath shower curtains and such. You liberate them from their perch, and using some thread from the golden carpet, you quickly weave together some thread and make her a new dress, toga style, out of the silk bath curtain. And yeah,
That's great.
So she looks a very eccentric, but not out of place in a place like this with all these rich, eccentric people. Can't do anything about the smell, but
That's fair.
You're lucky I used to work on ancient clothes. In fact, back in my shop, I have a thing for Greek culture, ancient Greek culture. Honestly, you look the type anyway.
Aphrodite, right?
But listen,
I did read your character sheets.
Nice.
I appreciate everyone's help in getting me back on my feet. Thank you very much.
It's not worth it. I just mean, when you're in the cyberspace, be careful. Don't give your soul to that thing.
Now that I know how much of a red flag it is, I will be much more cautious if and when I need to delve back into it.
If and when, such a brave soul.
Gotta figure this shit out.
It
just seems really bad.
No, the poop will come out the next time you try to access it. We'll see. But after your entrance and causing a small riot out on the streets, the wedding planners find you.
Perfect.
You see two gentlemen, one a more caramel skinned individual, another one dark like midnight. They come to you, very straight hair. They're both from different parts of India, but clearly Pushpa's relatives. Can we help you? Who are you?
in the interest of time, like, I would just explain to them, we have a security concern. We need to notify the larger security team of potential, like, you know, would malicious stigmata or like something like that make sense terminology wise, or however, right? Like however that needs to be worded.
They
like
would have been briefed on the situation, so that to them that would make sense.
Okay. So wait, so they know that that there's someone out there.
Planners do, because they're the main ones coordinating guests. And given that, you know, you're in this large grand entrance hall, like there's laughter and chatter like echoing off the walls, like towering banisters and freshly pumped air where it smells like lilacs and roses, like it's a swanky hive.
So if they already if they're already aware of this, then really the question is, have they already informed the various security teams throughout the building?
Well, yes. I mean, that's why there was guards with guns outside.
For this specific threat, right? Like,
beyond doubling security, there's not really much they can do. Like, if someone says you have a stigmata, like the classic cases, little boy had a knife through his heart before his 7th birthday, and they thought he was going to die or something, but it turns out his best friend, you know, threw his birthday cake to the ground, and that was a knife to his heart. That was devastating for that 7-year-old, but it was basically harmless. Whereas, you know, someone else, they had just, you know, a bee on their like throat, but then literally later on a bee stung them. They didn't know they were allergic and they died. So like sometimes you don't know the implications of stigmata.
When Push Patel was arrested, was she arrested by herself or as part of a group? And is there anybody else in that group that might be of interest and might even be here?
Well,
what do you want me to roll for that?
Given that you arrested her, you would know that it was only her and the accuser. There was no one else with her at the time.
Wait, Martin was the one to originally arrest her?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And the accuser, who was the accuser?
The guy that was bleeding, who had called for help on the net. When you found her, she was straddled over his body. He was bleeding pretty profusely. Yeah.
Is there any way that we could speak with her to verify the veracity of these claims?
I mean, she's the bride-to-be. You certainly may find her in this place and talk to her. Just like you could talk to the husband.
I can't.
All right.
They give you a general layout of the areas you're allowed to be in versus not, as indicated in your handout from earlier. But you are currently in the entrance hall.
So how does one like try to identify, or again, coming from Fia's background as an expert stigmata researcher, like what's the quickest and fastest way to identify, if any, the presence of a stigmata within a crowd, or is there no way to do that?
I mean, they could be anywhere, even in your group. Some people have it on their chest, some people have it on their arms, necks. I mean, and some people hide it. It's unless they're actively using the ability, and the stigmata typically glows a little bit, you wouldn't necessarily know.
You can't like using, I guess it would be code casting, but like the ability to like connect with the cryptids, because the stigmata are groups of cryptids, right? Like you can't use that to kind of connect and identify the presence of stigmata on other people, regardless of where it is on their bodies, like to use it via code casting, I guess.
So whether through ignorance or because no one is as skilled as you, to your knowledge, it hasn't been tried, but you certainly may.
Okay. Yeah. Can I try it?
For science.
Okay.
And how wide of a net are you casting here?
Well, so you said we are in the entrance.
Oh, yeah, the entrance hall, excuse me.
In the entrance hall. Yeah, I mean, I would try, if it's not something that is, like, commonly done, like, I'd probably just try it within that immediate vicinity just to see if that would work. Okay. Alright, so 10 plus 18.
You would see that one of the butlers clearly has something going on. You would kind of see it like if you were playing a first-person shooter and you had thermal goggles on. Different people, like it's like light vision. Your eyes would actually be glowing faintly as well, but different people would have pinpricks of light on their body. Now, you wouldn't be able to discern what the stigmata looks like based on the light signature, but you would be able to see how, like, maybe that it's brighter on some people than others in the general area it's at.
And when it's brighter than on other people, does that mean that they're in the process of, like, maybe trying to use it, or it's in use in some way, or that means something else?
Give me an intuition, please.
Okay. Sorry. Just trying to see if I can apply. Can I apply the talent of 4D chess to that intuition roll?
Absolutely.
Yes, because your 4D chess would be your spatial reasoning.
Okay, so I got a 12. So, sorry. For, like, the nat 12 versus unnat 12, like, I have 4 different dice that all look different. I have, like, my main 2 and then my backup 2. So for nat 12 is, like, my main 2.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so nat 12.
So that's a real critical. That's a full-blown critical.
Yes.
There you go.
Combo breaker. Yeah, like, I don't know what dice you're using, but those are your special dice. You need to use those.
They're shiny. They're shiny dice.
Oh, nice.
The shinies. You would, when the light grows particularly lighter, or brighter, I should say, it could be either because the person is utilizing their skill, it is an active result of a skill, or the person has unlocked the next level. Most people start off, it's black. When they go on their journey, it might evolve, become silver, but if they actually figure out the cause of their stigmata, it goes gold. There's only one person who looks gold in the room, but otherwise, you do see lots of little lights, at least a half dozen. Oddly enough, the cake that they're wheeling up the stairs, actually it'd be a service elevator, but they're putting into the elevator, the entire cake is glowing. That would be actually interesting to you at this moment. But beyond that, so you'd be able to see
the cake is glowing?
The cake. Because remember, you can also see if something's being affected by stigmata. So in this case.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And
so
the cake
obviously, go ahead, Amoula.
I was just going to ask, like, is the cake being wheeled somewhere to be actively cut into, or is it, like, being stored? Because, like, that would determine, do we need to call out that the cake is glowing now, or, like, do something else first?
First of all, if you say the cake is glowing after you came in throwing up, they're going to think you're crazy. You would know this, because this is what you just did has never been done. But, it's being wheeled up to an elevator, and you know that this place has a second floor and it has a basement. Presumably they're putting it up to the second floor, which is what has the great hall, or the banquet hall, I should say.
Okay. So maybe.
Are you letting us know that they? Did you let us know that you, like? Are you informing us in? I'd like to, if it's okay with the group. I think can we check to make sure that cake's not poison? It's glowing. I mean, like, first things first, maybe just can I do like can I use heal to sort of like check the cake to just make sure it's not a poison
Cake
without
check.
like damaging the cake or
So,
anything? Like,
here's
can
the
I like
thing.
cut a slice and be like, I need this for testing?
So,
We need to eat this cake immediately, sir.
I just want to point out you're a rando who got added at the last second, and I just want to understand you're trying to cut the cake that's intended for the bride and groom early. Is
Maybe
that
not.
intent?
Maybe not cut it, but is there a way? And if
So you
the
want to
answer is
stick
no,
your finger because your ability requires touch. You want to stick your finger into the
yeah,
cake.
that's basically what I was asking: is can I check
Or Rot
the cake
Reaper
for
and power
poison
armor.
without? I use my tower shield and cut out a slice.
Oh my gosh.
No, not really. No. No.
I mean, you can certainly try. Are you trying to do this stealthily, or are you trying to just be like, move?
I guess I would think to myself before anything, if there's a way that I could check that cake without like touching it and disturbing it and calling more attention to us, then I would. But if I have to like mess with the cake, I'll just pass.
Yeah, realistically, like for your stigmata, your specific stigmata, you have to kind of touch it. Otherwise, you're going to have to touch it physically to.
Yeah.
What I would say to Martin, one thing that you learn in nature is that there are times to be patient. I say, follow the cake. Yes, follow that cake.
Frank, I really
Let's
like
see
you.
where
That's
the
a
cake is going. And
that's a
if you
brilliant
need to
idea,
stick your
Frank.
giant intimidating shield into it. Then stick your giant intimidating shield into the cake, the glowing cake. That's what we should do. And as I'm saying this in a goofy way, I'm going to very seriously. So we've kind of made an interesting set of connections. The eye symbol implies that a creature, typically, but evidently now evolved chimeras or humans, are weak and injured when they have that, right? We can reasonably say that. I think we can also reasonably say that we're here to defend the couple. That's our job, unless I'm going crazy, right? I mean, I'm an outlander, so I can be. If that's our job, and a weak and creature with that mark is probably, given what happened to Lorelei, and we could say we should be on the lookout for that mark. I can track that mark secondhand, secretly, low key, kind of, maybe. I'm going to try it. Here's what I'm suggesting. GM, my spell allows me to track weak or injured creatures. I am going to try to use my spell to track those creatures in the hopes that it leads me throughout this giant maze of a building to somebody with the symbol on it.
So when you say creatures, totally viable plan. What or who are you trying to track?
I'm letting the feeling dictate it rather than going in with a prejudice. Because
Okay.
I go through things by sense. Like if I'm sensing this and I'm tracking it 3 floors up, down, left, right, sideways, I'm just going to let that sense, whether it's smell, sight, sixth sense, whatever that is, and that's up to you, right? You're the GM. I'm simply going to follow it. I think we're going to have to Scooby-Doo this a little and split up just a little bit. I think we have to stop the bride and groom from being assaulted or poisoned, but also find and interrogate the perpetrator, which is where I'm positioning myself, and helping Martin not start an international incident.
Cakes are important.
You certainly may try Outlander. Give me an intuition check, please.
I'd honestly be thrilled to do so.
Yes.
Can I help? If I also have
No, this
intuition,
is
can
kind of
I
his
help
own
with the
special power?
All right,
It's kind of, yeah.
for sure. For sure.
And then, would you be adding any talents? Like I have Chimera Protector, what I'm tracking. That seems like, I think Nature's Servant is probably closer. So therefore,
Actually, Chimera Tracker. Use that one.
or Protector, not Tracker. But if that's
Sorry,
fine
Protector. Use that one.
too. 15 total.
You guys are rolling like mad lads right now.
Yeah, I rolled pretty darn well on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So, just to recap for our folks here. Now, Fia, going through what she's done, has managed to identify that, she can see people who have stigmatas now. She can sense when something's been affected by a stigmata, potentially how strong it is, and things like that. She also saw that this cake was lighting up like a Christmas tree. Now, Frank, you, with this myriad of abilities, but particularly the ability to track particularly weak or hurt animals, you reach out your hand towards the cake and the crowd of people that are doing their hors d'oeuvres, and the oddest sensation hits you. Your senses lock on to the cake. The cake is a lie.
So you're saying it's an illusion, and therefore it's actually alive and a creature? Like Ditto, the Pokemon, shapeshifted into a cake?
All you know is that your ability has only ever worked on actual creatures, cryptids. And when you focused, it locked on to the cake.
I'll be like, I'm gonna say something crazy. That cake's alive.
Nice.
I think we should, like in Ocean's 11, where they're pushing the cart and that's how they get past the security. I think we should follow that cake. Let it not get out of our sight, and let us endear ourselves to this wonderful. I said it's like this wonderful place. I'm like fish out of water status, trying to be positive. Yay!
Right.
I really like your
So
attitude, Frank. You nice dude.
Oh, thanks, Martin. I'm glad that you survived and became an awesome dude yourself.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go follow the cake with Frank if we want to Scooby Doo it. Split up.
So I just want to be clear. So Frank and Martin are following the cake. Fia and Albert,
absolutely.
what are you doing?
Where does it look like the cake is headed? You said to a service
Look like
elevator?
It's going upstairs to the banquet hall.
yeah. Oh, the banquet hall. Yeah.
You know for sure it's going upstairs and not downstairs?
At this point, time has been passing. They got to the elevator, and you do see it go ding, which is up. So it's for
Okay.
sure going up to the banquet. Because, where else would it go? There's only bedrooms, a study, and the banquet hall, so there's no reason for it to go anywhere else, you suppose.
All right. Albert will follow the cake.
Okay. Fia, are you doing anything else, or are you following everyone else? You don't have to, but...
Gotta clean Dap the butler, the only other clue down there, just like, yo, hey, what's up, Charlie? And he's gonna be like, who's Charlie? And you're gonna be like, don't worry about it. Anyway, so about that cake.
Is there one elevator or two?
just the one.
Okay.
The rest have been locked down.
Are there stairs that are...
Yes, there's a beautiful flowing banister spiral staircase that goes up.
What about going down?
There are no immediate staircases to go downstairs that you see.
Would I be able to access like blueprints of the building? We're actually, well, I don't know. I don't want to.
Yes.
You know what? No, I'll follow. I'll follow with the cake because I want to. I could wormhole into the whole basement theory, but yeah, okay, let's follow the cake.
Just go to the basement, dude. Like, go down there by yourself. It'll be safe. And when you need backup again, when the omniscient sapient AI makes you bleed out of your orifices, no one will be there. It'll be great.
Yep.
Basements are
I'm following the
notoriously
cake.
safe.
Yep.
Now that we've
Yes.
been, if Frank lets me know that the cake is a living thing, and again, feel free to say no. Can I use my cryptid infinity without like touching the cake? And I'm not fully worried about touching the cake anymore now that it's been kind of identified. Can I use my cryptid affinity to just like try to identify what is going on with this cake?
You certainly may try once you go upstairs.
Nice. Oh yeah, we're catching the elevator right after the cake, I imagine.
Okay. Yeah, no one's trying to be stealthy about it. You're just doing your thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're allowed to be here. Like, we're
Yeah,
fish
you're
out
allowed
of
to be.
water.
Yeah. Right.
I
And I've
if
got the
someone
rock-
were to approach us, we could.
I've got
No, I
the
just
Rot
wanna-
Reaper's insignia. Official business. If anybody asks me, I just point to the sign. Official business. I'm doing an investigation with these guys. Leave us alone.
Literally an ex-zombie cop in power armor. I mean, who's gonna? I mean, you know, I'm weird. You know, she's scientist, and we got a cool ASS historian. I mean, we're all right. You know,
Yeah.
weird, but all right.
Yeah, you know, bum 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 ba bum 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 ba bum, and you know the elevator door opens, ba 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 ba. You walk out.
Nice.
You find yourself on, you know, really, this place is. Oh, I just saw that message late. Banquet hall. Sorry, I missed that.
It wasn't sketchy or weird at all. I mean, I was like, I feel safer.
Oh yeah.
No, I just got a clarification of like where you guys were going. It's like no,
Yeah, we're going to the
clarify.
second floor banquet hall.
You're going to the.
And
banquet
we're
hall,
still
yeah.
before
'cause
the
I said
wedding,
I've been
right?
using entranceway, gateway.
Did the wedding happen yet, or are we still before the wedding?
No, it has not happened. This is before the one because you guys.
What's
didn't-
the
As they're setting
ETA?
up the reception, basically.
What's the ETA for the wedding?
The wedding is in less than 3 hours.
Okay.
So it's not as crowded as I guess I thought. That's a fair.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Like there are people there, but like again, it's not. It's like a lot of socialites, a lot of people trying to gain favor. But you go up to the second floor. You're in the banquet hall. I just got to make sure that I have all my notes for this. Now you enter like this. I mean, this place is opulent AF. There's rows of chairs that like awaiting wedding guests. They're not there yet, obviously, but you know you have sunlight streaming through stained glass windows, and there's colorful patterns on polished wood, which usually in a place like this you'd expect again that plas steel like compound or titanium A, but it's just classic like hickory wood, just waiting for the ceremony to come. It's very traditional, very beautiful. And you see a couple of food platters out, and you see this beautiful multi-tier cake, at least 7 tiers, enough to feed easily 150 people.
Well,
What you eat in
Cake,
her.
actually,
or
closer to
so it
250,
would
but whatever.
appear.
Yeah.
That's a huge
But
cake.
yeah, so you have this beautiful cake. It's, you know, traditional white frosting. There's blueberries on top of it, and pearls and opalescence on it, with glimmer dust on it.
I would actually ask Fia a question. Very random question.
Do you
Do
like
you
it?
sense the iron levels with your magic wrist thing? Can you sense or measure the iron levels in creatures around you?
I should be able to via code casting.
Cool.
If you tried to do a diagnostic on someone, they would have to. Now,
No,
there's
what
a
about
way.
the cake?
Oh, the cake.
Because if she were to scan the cake and get back low iron, what I know that means is that its the creature's cryptid count is low and it is falling, meaning it's a way of essentially reverse engineering the conclusion this is for sure a creature. See?
Versus,
A logic puzzle.
wait, for sure a creature versus, like,
So it could be a zeitgeist, a nightmare,
yep.
or in some sort of illusory technological thing, right? So if you go up and it has low iron, it's not technology, and it's either a zeitgeist or a nightmare. Unless I'm crazy, right? And if it's a nightmare, then we need to contain it.
Yes.
If it's a zeitgeist, then we need to befriend it.
Yes.
This is what the wilds teach me.
Says the outlaw. So, dear Fia, are you gonna? Again, you're gonna have to get pretty close to scan it. Close enough to touch.
Well, Amoula, the cakesman in real life. Ooh, what flavors did they pick? Let me judge them.
Is each tier a different flavor?
Speaking of the cakesman himself, Bennett, what
Yeah.
on the surface, what flavors would it be?
The flavors are obvious.
Yeah, like I said, you do have some delightful looking blueberries and some gold leaf and stuff on the outside, but the flavors are not necessarily obvious until you cut into them.
Don't want to cut this thing yet, just saying.
So yeah, I mean, so actually let me ask it, who's around in the banquet hall right now? Like, are there guests?
The banquet hall is currently empty because the people who brought the cake up might look at you a little funky, but they would see, your tags. Clearly you're part of security, and they just assume you're doing your job, but it's way before the reception because you came here first. No one else is in here yet.
Okay.
Bennett, and I don't mean to derail things, but are you literally going to make us fight a cake? Right now? I'm not trying to play a game, but I've been in enough games with you over the years. We're in a giant empty room with a giant cake, polymorph cake. I really feel strongly like even Frank has got to be like, this is a boss fight.
Look, all I'm saying is Fia has done an amazing job with her technology, so I'm sure that when she scans this creature, nothing could possibly go wrong.
That's great. That makes you feel warm and fuzzy.
All right, can we
Maybe it's just a stripper.
Oh my god.
All right, I'm gonna do the science code casting roll here to identify, and I'll just walk up to the cake and peer at it as if I'm appreciating its.
Right, I'm actually gonna call it. Give me a science check first, and then that's gonna modify your medicine check. But go on.
Wait, do I need my medicine check?
And I just might have lost. I lost the dice, but that's okay. What was that?
Ooh.
No, you're doing so you're doing a check for the code casting because you're checking its vitals. So that's the medicine part.
Oh, can I get aid from Martin?
Because you're using a method that he wouldn't know how to use. Now, if he wanted to do a medicine check, he would do it differently because he's a field medic and he has his own ways of working.
But can I still use the code casting talent to?
Yes. So functionally, what you're doing is, though you're getting the vitals through the cryptids, you still have to interpret the data on the digital level. So there's still a medicine aspect to it. That's why it's two different checks.
And
the first just modifies the second. So if you roll really high in the first, the second shouldn't be that hard.
Okay.
In theory.
Well, because I don't. Sorry, let me reroll. Because I don't have medicine as a skill.
I don't suspect you do.
Lovely. All right.
Sometimes heroes don't get to do the things they're good at. That's part of the game.
So 11 plus 8. Yeah, 19.
That's not how Amoula plays video games, to be fair. But she literally plays and then absolutely dominates. Like, she Starons every video game that she's ever played. By the end, she's a literal god.
No, nice. I get that. No, I feel that in my bones. No, that's fair enough. So what was your first roll?
19.
Great. Now give me that medicine check. A strong medicine check. Come on.
So,
I want to point out Martin never complained when he did all of those untrained rolls. I just want to point that out.
He was the king. Gotta give him a bonus. Give him
You're not trained in everything.
Status that says when untrained, treat as proficient.
It's 1d6, right? Because I'm untrained, so I'm rolling with 1.
Well, there could be a talent that you apply to it. Don't forget that even if you're untrained, you can still apply a talent.
Cyborg?
You may not. Would you say cyborg?
That's one of the hive-born foundling.
Would this be?
Interesting. Not a bad call.
Depending on the results, I might have a theory.
Okay. So 6.
6. Frank tells you to, because that's what you needed. Frank tells you that you need to look out for low iron. You realize that there's indeed a creature that's slowly starting to become aware of you, watching it as it watches you, and you slowly start to see the blueberries to stare at you. It hasn't done anything yet. What do you do or say, Fia?
I guess I would probably see if Frank, if you have any visual way to tell a difference between a zeitgeist and a nightmare, other than just waiting to see if it's going to attack you or not.
Plentiful experience. Yeah, I have plentiful experience. I'd like to intuit that. If I'd be near her, obviously, Bennett. So I would like to assist in figuring that out, and then I can triage how to communicate or back off from that point. So can I intuit that, or try to intuit that?
You certainly may try.
All right. And what would you like me to use for a talent, sir?
This would be under straight up cryptids.
Is cryptid a talent in this
Well,
case?
you're cryptid protector.
Then that's a 17. That's a massive roll.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, because from my perspective, you're trying not to kill it immediately, so.
Well, certainly not. I would never, ever, ever. If it was that would be antithetical to my nature. If it's a zeitgeist,
Exactly.
I would want to basically, are you okay? If it's a nightmare, I'd be like, let's get us to be okay.
Yeah, exactly. This creature, you can tell it's newly formed. You give me a history check, Frank. Let's see if you've ever come across something like this before.
Well, I don't have history. I have nature. So it would be like, did I come across it in nature, right? Because I don't, like, history's different. So that's a different roll. So that's 3d6. So that is, what talent do you think I should use? Like a nature's servant, like the Chimera Protector?
No, I think
Chimera
it should just be
Protector,
straight nature for you. I think it's just like has it come up and
then it's 14.
you would know that in a world where creatures exist, they walk among us. A very popular creature from video games of the late 20th century called mimics actually exist in this world.
If I had guessed Ditto, would you have had a small heart attack like I did earlier? Would you have literally had a small heart attack?
No, because I mean, obviously that's copyrighted. We would never do that here.
We would never. Well, so are mimics, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
No, they're not.
Aren't they? Mimic, the creature, like the living treasure chest? Wizards surely owns mimics, right?
Fine, it's a doppelganger. It's German. Now let's
kidding.
go.
No, they're not going to hate on us.
Yeah, anyways,
It's a
So
shapeshifter.
it's a literal mimic. So that's a nightmare by definition. I would say, I would put my hand on Fia and I would say, "Oh my gosh, did you see that they're actually wheeling in more dessert?" And I would not forcibly, but I would try to pull you away, but without our back turned.
Give
Like,
me
I
an
would back
athletics
off.
check.
Me? Oh, I have terrible athletics.
Great.
I have great. Hey.
Great.
He really wants us to fight the game.
No, I don't
Let's
want
see.
you to. I just think it's funny.
So you gave me a talent called Resourceful Rebel, I believe.
Yep.
I'm not sure what that is, but I'm going to give it to myself for +2, or you can subtract it. So it's either a 5 or a 7.
Resourceful Rebel. I'll give it to you. You've had times where you had to fight against the man, so there are traps that occurred at the last second. You had to dodge them. I'll give it to you.
Excellent. So it's a 7 total.
7 total. You have a difficult choice. You realize the cake's maw opens up with candy corn teeth,
Gross.
and it's going to snap down on you or Fia. Now you could push her out of the way and potentially get bit, or you could get bit yourself,
Let's see.
or let her get bit, I should say. What do you do?
Are Martin and Albert close by? I
You're
assumed we were all. We didn't say
you're
specifically.
close, you're close enough. You see this happening, yes.
Okay.
I would for sure push her out. I can't stop in that moment. I don't think I have an ability which will allow me to.
You don't have the reflexes for it.
Yeah, I don't. Not in this case.
However-
I would. Okay.
Oh, yes, Fia.
Can I use my stigmata of agility and using my talent of parkour and my skill in athletics to try to also yank
I
him out of the
swear it
way?
sounds like you're making this up on the spot, but I know it's on your character sheet. I swear to God, it sounds like you're making it up.
You're the one that told me what I could do with my stigmata, so...
That's fair.
You certainly may try. Give me athletics with all the things. Never mind.
Okay.
Apparently, the 2 alpha predators in the back, the freaking Giga Chad, and Giga Tyrone over here, don't need to do anything because she got parkour.
Yeah. was funny 'cause we were coming up with the sheet, Bennett. She's like, "Is that too general?" I go, "No, it's just general enough."
All right. So hold on. So 9, so 11, and then I don't. How does like the application of the stigma, like, because it's 11 with just my skill and talent. I don't know how.
Like, count as being proficient. It's a proficiency. So it would be a standard.
Oh, nice.
So it'd be another
2d6 plus
2.
your talent.
Yeah.
It's 2d6 plus your talent, Amoula.
Yeah. So, but because I'm using 2d6, aka athletics, the talent of parkour, and then do I apply the stigmata on top of that,
Yes.
or is that okay?
That's the intent.
It's another +2, right? Because that's a proficient.
Hmm.
Okay, so 13.
Yeah. The cake slams down an inch from your face, and the buttercream right in your eye kind of reminds you of the bus that flew out of your body not even 10 minutes earlier. The cake doesn't chase you. It merely settles down to its position, waiting for the next person to touch it or interact with it.
I would love to position myself with my tower shield kind of like in front of the thing with everybody, or like me and my tower shield between the cake and everybody else.
Can we? So obviously, Zeitgeist, in Nightmares, we talked earlier a lot about curing zombieism. Can you convert a nightmare to a Zeitgeist? Or force an evolution or a de-evolution with cryptids?
Yes.
Nice.
Then either I, but more likely Fia, I would strongly recommend that we make this cake a cake and pretend like nothing happened and see if the assassin reveals themselves, because they don't know we would have fixed it.
I have a theory that the cake might itself be... It's not the assassin.
No,
because
it's a tool.
It's a tool, so I don't know how... this is kind of a lore question, too. When tainted... I believe when someone consumes the flesh of a cryptid or consumes cryptid, it enhances them and changes them.
That's
Is that just for... Is that for any living beings?
Any living being.
So I have
that mimic cake.
No, I have a feeling that this cake was maybe meant to be eaten by everyone, because there's this whole thing with the pure.
The opposite.
Yeah.
It's just the working parts of a theory yet, where I'm wondering if this cake was meant to be consumed by everyone to make them all, like, enhance them in that way. This might be a loose end. But
give me an intuition check, Martin.
Hey, I have intuition as one of my main ones. Oh, now I gotta pull my character sheet back up. Hold up. Intuition is a 2d6. Where did my character sheet go? Sorry, everybody. And then I don't think... Would Cryptid Affinity be a reasonable talent to use right now with this intuition?
Sure. Okay,
so I got 3d6, and it's just the 2 highest d6 plus 2. Oh man, I am not rolling good. I got 6 plus 2. I got an 8.
That's bad.
What you would know is that Frank. These are the facts. Frank said, "Hey, I know something that involves if a creature has low iron, and this is a creature." You would also know from Fia that this is a result specifically from a stigmata user. And you would know that the creature didn't attack the person who brought the cake up. It only seemed to attack you when you started scanning it and discovering its true nature.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of why I'm thinking... The reason that was because it was brought in and it didn't attack these other people. I'm wondering, should we go check out the kitchen, seeing what's going on in there?
People who brought the cake up.
Yeah. Oh, because they might be mimics too.
Creature.
Bennett, it's still a T-minus 3 hours until the wedding, right? Or until
correct
they show up. Would it be reasonable to create a facsimile of the cake in the intervening time?
Are you gonna bake a cake, buddy?
You bake a 7-tier cake and
Make it.
under.
I love that.
So as
With
a
the
baker,
power
Make a
of
dummy cake.
cryptids.
as a baker, and you're in an industrial kitchen, you could do it. And if you
Gonna need
like,
some help.
if you only did the decorating or the baking, or if you like, and you have the cryptids, it's 100% plausible. It's gonna cost you 2 hours though, which again, even in modern standards, impossible. This
If
is
somebody
future.
helped him, would that take less time if I
It's
helped
gonna
him?
require the entire party. It'll be
Oh,
a full
okay.
party effort.
Oh,
Do you understand how long that takes to make a cake? That's like 3 tiers. That's like a 4 to 6 hour thing. So like to do a 7 whatever tier was, but you
Well, I
could
guess
solve
my
that
question,
problem.
is it possible to kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone in the sense, is it possible to force this nightmare to become an actual cake without the assassin knowing? Watch for somebody who's expecting the cake to do something it's not going to do, and then use that to draw the person out, rather than simply doing a swap, which is potentially significantly more effort.
Or force it to
Possible.
become.
I mean, you have to either
Okay.
break the stigmata user's, connection, or otherwise.
So this is this is active, so someone is forcing it to stay in this state.
Right. They're basically collecting, because so when you use various stigmata powers, some of them are destructive to the environment, additive, they're neutral. This is
Yep.
an additive effect, so they're functionally collecting cryptids within the cake itself and animating the cake. So if you break
So
the
would
connection
it-
or otherwise drain the cryptids one way or the other, then it would stop the animation.
But they would know if we forcibly
Oh,
stop.
100%. You'd be cutting the strings of the
And
puppet.
we
they
gotta
would
we
know.
gotta figure out how to use this active link to track the assassin.
Can we
Right.
do that based on how the cryptids are collecting and forming, or not necessarily?
I'm going to say no, because even if you could find the connection between 2 points, because all cryptids in the world are functionally connected in that mesh network, you would see light rays everywhere. Everything's connected, so I don't think you would be able to do that.
So we know that in the entrance hall, the butler lit up, right?
Mhm.
And the cake was glowing the most out of all of them. We didn't necessarily do that scan in all of the other areas of the building. So can we go to each location, do that scan to just collect our list of potential suspects?
You certainly may.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in.
How
Yeah. Sounds
How
good.
far can I scan? So the second floor is comprised of the banquet hall, bedrooms, and the study. Can I scan all 3 in one go, like just by standing in the banquet hall? Do I need to go to the
You'd have to
bedrooms,
go to each individual room before you can start to scan, yeah.
or like outside of the room, or I have to be in the room?
I think you have to be in the room. It would be, because each room is shielded, right? Like, it's still a hive.
Mhm.
Like, these are not, if it was like a normal building, maybe.
Okay. Then maybe I'm wondering if we should start in the basement. Like, go to the wine cellar. That's one because
Bottom up.
that's one
Let's start.
location.
If
on
you
that
don't mind,
floor.
let's start in the kitchen. If you don't mind, because the kitchen
Yeah.
is where the cake came from. So maybe, but other than if everybody else wants to go to the basement, I'm not gonna. Whatever the group wants.
Yeah, we can do the kitchen. That's fine.
Well, the kitchen's on the way, right? Because we're on the second floor. The kitchen's on the first floor, and the
Yep.
basement is the wine cellar. So why don't we just
Okay.
go down? I'm down with that.
Okay. To the
I
kitchen.
have another sort of like mystery related question to ponder on. Who, and if I don't know this, then fair enough, but when it comes to Push Patel and the prince, the groom, who proposed to who? Who did Push Patel get Prince Homie?
Henri
Okay.
proposed to Pushpa.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
he
that-
proposed to her. He said, "Love of my life."
how long
And-
ago did she get out of jail?
And you would recall this, no role necessary. When Fia looked into the records, she saw that Pushpa got incarcerated, but she also saw the next day that she was out and about.
Okay.
Both
Yeah.
are recorded as true. So from your perspective, you're like, did she just not spend any time in jail at all?
And what was the prince's name again? I keep forgetting his name. And like
Henri Jean-Baptiste.
And what's his title on Henri?
He is a hive-born, basically the one who created the technology to reclaim you from zombies.
Oh, okay. He proposed to her.
Well, we'll uncover more. Let's go to the kitchen.
Yeah.
More stuff's going to come to us. More stuff will come.
For sure.
Is it safe to leave us here?
It's crazy. The last 30 minutes is going to be crazy for you. There's a lot of ground we're going to cover. It's crazy.
I love it.
All right.
What did you say, Albert?
The staircase, or you're taking the elevator?
Oh, Albert was just asking if it was safe to leave the cake here.
It's a good question.
No.
It's a real good question. We all almost just ran off. We're like, we're just going to leave this monster here. Let's run away.
I don't think we have a choice. I think we can't disarm the cake now because then we're going to get called out. I think if the cake were to threaten someone's life, we'd obviously have to step in and trigger it. But if we do that, we lose the trail of the assassin. So we have to keep it long enough until the assassin is found. Then the connection could be proven. And we are not going to get arrested ourselves.
Can we say that the captain can stay behind, keep an eye on the cake, and maybe try to maneuver people away from the cake if they try to get too close to it?
Fair enough. I mean, canonically, our dear captain is still with you. So yeah, he's been right at attention, staring at everyone. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stay with the captain as well to ensure that nothing happens.
Interesting.
Love it.
All right.
To the kitchen.
To the kitchen.
All right, Scooby-Doo, we're splitting the party.
We're basically playing Cyberpunk Clue right now, which I'm
love
actually
it.
really down for, is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
This is a lot of fun, Bennett. This is fun, dude.
Well, I'm glad. We'll see what happens. If anyone else knows what's going on, because there's a lot of craziness. The party, well, I shouldn't say that. Martin, Fia, and Frank decide to go off.
What a law firm, by the way.
Martin, Fia, and Frank
decide
cake-related injuries.
Go off, and we're going to deal with you in a second, Albert. Martin, Fia, and Frank decide to go off down the stairs and they make their way to the kitchen. The kitchen, it's very bustling. At this point, it's crazy with activity. Cooks are going left and right. There's a sumptuous feast, suckling pigs, the whole nine. You see, slightly to your dismay, Frank, there are a couple of cryptids there. So it's you do see three-horned, crystal horned deer, and as well as normal venison and things. So you do see that there are some rare dodo birds made it. You think that might be a dragon tail, but it's very rich people. But in a world where myths and legends walk the earth, some people are going to do what they do.
But if there's zeitgeist, that would hurt Frank.
Yeah, no, some of them are not bad guys. Some of them are just
But we're on a mission. It is what it is.
Yes. The thing is that the cooks look panicked for two reasons. One, there's a lot of food that needs to still be prepped. But two, someone you would all recognize because he'd be famous, the groom apparent, Henri Jean-Baptiste, would be in the corner of the kitchen holding his feet and rubbing them, pretty much yelling at a couple of the staff.
What's he saying?
He's just get me a doctor. What is this?
You know Ocean's 11, Brad Pitt comes in the end. Did someone call a doctor? Somebody has to cosplay hard here.
Mm-hmm. But that's what he's yelling about in the corner.
Can I do a heal check on him?
I would go to Martin. I'd say, Martin, this is your time to shine, buddy.
Yeah.
Go thank him. Right? Like, think about it. He's responsible. He saved your life.
Yeah.
Go thank him. Distract him. Get information.
Yeah.
I pull a Fred from Scooby-Doo and I go with the beautiful woman to the next part.
I need to scan the kitchen though. So like maybe while Martin is going to talk to the groom, I can do the scan, but we should do Martin, you should go talk to him first.
All right, Martin.
So here's how I'd like to roll a heal.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Wait, hold on, Martin. Hold on.
Yeah.
You walk towards Henri. Scene change. Albert, your ears have long past heard their footsteps leave. The echo of their passing is gone. What would you do in the room?
Albert would remove a small capsule from his pocket and say to the captain, Captain, I don't know if this will help, but a friend of mine left me with a gift of restoration. I hope this will do what I think it will. And he's gonna sort of not get too close to the cake, but sort of spray a sort of aerosol towards the cake.
You do aerosol. What?
You press the button on the vial, and it begins to silently release its contents into the air. The aerosolized contents begin to permeate the room, scentless, odorless, colorless, even to your eyes in different light spectrums. It lands on the cake, and the cake slumps down.
Could you do like what becomes a cake, or just like gushes on itself?
You're not there. You don't know.
I'm a curious audience member. So.
Could you describe the
cake seems to lose a little bit of volume. Those who are bakers will know that when you create a multi-tier cake, you have to put internal fasteners to keep it upright and to keep it erect, especially if it gets over like 2 or 3 layers. The stigmata itself and the cryptids were acting as the thing that was holding it up. Once they have been completely killed, the cake lost some of its structural integrity and begins to sag, which is your indication that the substance did its intended action.
So Albert, I think, will approach the cake and do what he can to prop it back up. I mean, he may not be able to prop it back up in the most standard way, right? But maybe he can reshape it, right? Do what he can to make something that is, a legitimate looking cake that, especially if people hadn't seen it, right? They may not realize that there's a problem. I'll give myself resourcevol. Seems like a useful talent for this.
That distracts, yeah.
So
Nice.
I got an 8.
8.
There's a really good justification though, Bennett. Remember, you can give him a +2 on the back end if you want to get him to double digits.
No, that's true. I think that was a good justification. I'll give you the 10. But good old Ian over here just trying to help everyone out. Yeah, I see. Albert, you can't get it to look like it's perfectly straight form, but instead you get every layer to lean on each other, so it kind of looks like an ice luge where each layer is dripping fondant into the next layer. So it looks like a different kind of artistic.
It's a feature, not a bug, right?
Yes. But the cake does look spectacular after your ministrations.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I actually have an artistic talent as well. I probably should have thought about that.
Yeah, no, everyone has all the talents. It's fine. Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, I think it's fair enough that Captain would ask you, Captain Clarence would be like, now, what did you do, boy? That was quite odd.
Captain, the lives of our esteemed guests are primary, are they not? We can't
persuade.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. But sorry, continue because I might change. I might give you +2 depending on how good this justification is.
And the last thing we want to do is ruin a wedding of some of the most influential people in the city. So my roll is a 2.
Really? Oh, no.
Dang.
Rough.
You would say, look, now you're right. What happens to these loonies would affect the entire future of the lunar colony. So you're right on that front. I mean, whatever happens here, it's the future. But I really don't see why'd you wait so long to implement your solution? It seems odd. What exactly are you hiding?
That's a good question, Captain.
Pause. Switching back over. So you're in the kitchen. The heir of your salvation, Henri Jean Baptiste, is holding his feet and complaining to the various helpers as the chefs are desperately trying to cook around their prone benefactor. You walk over with a nimble confidence. What are you doing, Martin?
I would like to. I think Martin is a little like starstruck, just like a little bit of like, wow, this really is the guy that is did the thing, and I want to do a heal check to see. I just want to roll heal to see like if I can identify and to cure it. But I guess just I don't have medicine. I only have heal. Are those different things? If they are, that's legit.
Making them synonymous.
Yeah, that's true. In this game, I've made them synonymous. Yeah.
And can I add my field medic training as a talent?
Yeah, 100%. Are you kidding me? 100%.
We're in the field.
Yes.
So I got a dirty 12.
What's odd to you is this reminds you of what Frank said earlier. His extremities are cold. He looks anemic. You pull down his eye. You see that there's no red to it. He's kind of getting jaundice. You can't really understand what's going wrong. This is the father of modern gene tech. He should have at least a dozen programs monitoring his internal health. There's no reason he should be anemic, or he shouldn't at least know about it. Something's wrong.
His cryptids are low. I would whisper to Martin if I'm close. If I'm not close, you can prevent me from doing that.
Yeah, is that something that I would seeing? Can I like give him some of my cryptids? Can I just like? Can you exchange them like that? Do they go from person to person? If not, that's
you certainly. So most of the time, people can exchange cryptids, given your background as
yeah, right.
It's not your body's not going to release them. Like it just you wouldn't. It would be like a tiger giving up its claws. It just can't.
Oh my God! Here's what you do, Martin.
Yeah.
Ready? You thank him, make this diagnosis, which you've done. Then you say, "I want my special faith healer, Fia or Frank, to bless you on your holy day, and then we'll get out of your hair." And then we come out and we give him cryptids, and then bail.
Yeah. So I like that. I like that a lot. I've done the heal check, and I'll be like, Well, you seem to be low on your fluids, and you probably need some electrolytes. You're getting a little jaundice there under your skin. Seems odd for you to be sick, but I got a couple of faith healers who will come on in, and they'll give you a blessing for your big day. And can I also roll an intuition on him and maybe like ask him a couple of questions about Push Patel? Like, you looking forward to marrying the old Push Patel? And I'm not gonna give on that. I'm gonna be neutral to how I know her, because I don't want him to know that I like arrested her, but more like get him to talk about her a couple of times and just intuition on like, is homie the assassin?
So here's what I'm going to need from you. I'm going to need you to do an intuition first to see if you can find what you need, and I'm going to need you to make a subterfuge.
Nice. So I definitely am proficient in intuition, but not in subterfuge or any talky skills at all. So here's my intuition. Oh, that's not good. I got a 6. 2 dice
to roll a 2.
2 dice. I got a 6, and I'll try the subterfuge on just the one. I got a 5 on that one.
Okay, let me just. DM gets to finally roll dice today. Yay!
Nice.
Oh, you're cooked.
Yeah.
Remember how earlier Fia was just being marvelous and showing off with all of her skills of gene tech? This is the father of gene tech, and you just came in with a weak ass excuse. What he can do makes her look like a child banging on the piano. His eyes immediately focus on you hard. He goes to grab you, which is brave because he still knows what and who you are. Can I get an athletics check real quick to see if you can move out the way and grab?
I have athletics and I have tough.
You have like Apex Predator. You have a couple things.
I have unarmed combat. I think out of talents, I could add either tough or unarmed combat. Which one do you think would be?
Unarmed combat for sure.
Okay, that's so then so athletics, so 2. Athletics just a 2, and then I add 2. Oh, fell off the dice. Okay, that's gonna be.
Don't have a table. Coleman is
11.
rolling on. There is no surface. The kid has missed the table like literally 4 times. Poor Coleman's out here like, I don't even have a table. I'm just trying to count.
Yeah,
I'm throwing them way too hard. Throwing them down on the table.
Okay.
I got a 9 plus 2, so 11.
Okay.
Nice.
He grasps at nothing but, because he's not very athletic, he grasps at nothing but open air as you juke backwards, and he goes, "You dare put my little flower in jail? I just looked you up. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't strip your credentials and kick your entire party out of my wedding."
Well, when I found your little flower, she had just been mutilating some poor dude. So, I don't know what you want from me. I was doing my job, Amore, whatever your name is.
He immediately jumps to his feet and just hits the floor because his feet are numb.
Can I catch him?
Damn these cold feet.
Can I catch him and cradle him?
I'm gonna correct it.
Well, okay, you're gonna give him cryptids, Frank. What was that, Martin?
Can I catch him and sort of like, whoa there, let me help you there, buddy. You seem to be cool. I'll roll athletics for that.
And I'll subtly give him the cryptid so he doesn't know that he's being healed.
Subterfuge for you, and we're gonna switch over to Albert. Albert, you've been asked, what exactly are you hiding? The soldier who's seen many things, he is Black Ops, and Special Ops, after all, and you're acting kind of shifty.
Captain, I have reason to believe that someone in this party is not who they appear to be. My suspicions lie on the 3 who went down that elevator. You seem straightforward enough.
subterfuge. And you get great justification. I like the shirking off of responsibility. Go for it.
I don't see any talents that'd be useful here. I rolled a 4.
4. How unfortunate that he rolled a 5. So this is just barely concealed lies and intuition. He slowly puts his hand on his firearm. You slowly prepare your body. He has to reach for his weapon. You are the weapon. And he stares at you.
Captain.
Who are you, Albert?
I'm here for the whole of humanity, Captain. It hangs in the balance.
I mean, they're important people, but I don't understand how if their pretty little wedding, sorry, wrong accent, if their pretty wedding doesn't go off without a hitch, I'm sure the world will keep on turning.
What are your orders, Captain?
My orders are to protect the couple, to make sure this wedding happens. What are your orders, Albert?
The same as yours. And tell me, some kind of godforsaken monstrosity for a cake that's designed to be a assassin's tool. Taking care of it. Does that make our esteemed guests safer or not?
Fair enough. In my time with the Black Ops, I've seen enough of, governments and Pure for that matter, going ahead and creating these things as tools of war. Fair enough. They're safer.
Now, if I do anything to put these two in jeopardy, you take that pistol and you use it the way you've trained to do it. But until I do something otherwise, please keep it there, Captain.
He looks at you. 2 heartbeats pass. And he goes, I'm getting jumpy. Alright, let's go. You make your way down the banister. Back to you, Martin. You're holding a very recovering groom. And he goes...
yeah.
Yeah.
No, you go.
Yeah, you said I got my faith healers. Frank touched him. He goes, no, it's okay. I already feel a lot better. I feel... Of course, on my wedding day, I literally get cold feet. My wife's missing. It's been a nuts day.
While
Hold
he's
up there.
Very specifically, in that state, we need to look for the symbol with the eye, because that means he could have been bit by a vampire.
Good call.
Because again, see, big brain time, everybody.
I love in a world where all cryptids are real. It's like, what is it? Is it a Yeti? Is it a skinwalker? Is it a pharaoh? I love this.
Man.
I love everything about this.
I say we all of us need to do a group action type of roll to see in the very short period of time where he's slightly disarmed whether we can see or feel the mark on him personally.
I'll do.
Right. Why don't you talk amongst yourselves for a second? I just have to. I gotta get some water.
Go for it.
Yeah, hold on.
No worries.
I can heal, or I can do awareness, and I'm already holding him, so it won't be weird if I'm like shuffling my hands around. He also just said his wife is missing. That's a big lead.
That is a big lead. So why is he not like panicking about his wife being? Oh well, I guess it's your wedding day. Maybe she's like getting cold feet. So let's look for the mark, and then we can kind of pivot. If he
she
has
could
the
be
mark,
busy. Sorry, you go, Ian.
No. I was literally just gonna say, like, if he has the mark, we triage. If he doesn't, we can continue down to the basement, basically. Because I still think that the priority is finding the assassin, not the wife.
Yeah.
Because if she's missing, the assassin either has her or is going for her, right? Or she's been tricked down a certain path, or she's the assassin.
Yeah. So I'll start off with the awareness. So I'm holding homie. I'll do an awareness to sort of like feel around on him to see if I notice a big, stigmata mark kind of a thing. Oh, and I get a third. Hey, not bad. Hey, 10 total.
10 total.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for the mark, all of us, ideally. So
yeah,
everyone give me awareness checks. Everyone.
Yeah. Nice.
I have garbage for. Well, I have 2d6 plus X. So let's see what I do.
Not Albert, I assume.
No, Albert. You would actually just be getting to the foot of the stairs, and when they're probably done with this interaction, you'll probably be walking through the door.
I also got 10 total.
10.
Can I add cyborg to my awareness check?
You're gonna have to give me a little bit more. Justify it.
Like, because I'm assuming I have glasses, right? So like or some sort of like like visual thing, right? So like I'm assuming I could then see through. I don't know. Could I see through clothes? Like, could I see like, you know what I mean? Like, could I see the collections of cryptids to? Well, actually, hold on. Let me backtrack. Can I? Why is it that I have to roll awareness and not science? Because I did the scan for stigmata.
Because you didn't say I was going to use the scan technique that I just developed 10 minutes ago. You said I was just going to look around.
No, because you told us all to roll awareness checks.
Yes. Well, right. Yes, that's fair enough. But if you would like to use your scan technique instead,
yeah, 100%. Well, I want to use the scan technique on the entire room, which I haven't been able to do so yet. So.
Okay.
Can I do that on him and the room?
Fair enough. Let's see the awareness, and then you hold off on the awareness, and then we'll have you do your scan afterwards.
Okay.
So 10-10. Albert's coming. Okay, so actually, you're actually up via in your scan. Because both of you don't notice anything.
Okay. 16.
With a 16, you do the scanner technique. You look around the room. You'll recall there was only one gold stigmata user in there. He is surprisingly not it. He's only silver. He's only at that second tier.
The groom.
What does surprise you, and the reason you rip off your AR goggles nearly as fast as you can, is that as he blinks, across his eyelids are closed eyes.
Oh, that's freaky.
So the groom has the mark. Yeah, he's in a whole lot of trouble.
He is indeed.
So we're gonna need a very specific type of zeitgeist to heal that. There's literally no other way that I'm aware of.
How do you even heal? Is this like
there are certain zeitgeists, like unicorns, white griffins, for example, that have the capability of healing creatures that are afflicted with this symbol. At least it's plausible.
Okay.
I can't summon them. I certainly don't have that ability, but we would need a creature of that level of skill.
It actually says on my character sheet, I have a griffin. I have a griffin as a Chimera contract that I had forgotten about.
Yes.
Really?
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I chose Griffin as one of my Chimera contracts. Do I just like summon?
So you don't have an animite ring because the reclaimed cannot use them. However, you can still have contracts, and as such, your contract would allow you to find the closest Griffin healer around.
Oh, okay. How do I would love to find that. What do you want me to roll or something for that?
Give me a, I guess, awareness or intuition. Either way, I'll let you choose.
Can he take advantage of the animite shard I have to help with that roll?
If you give him an animite shard, his body might absorb it.
Oh, okay.
That's fair. Right, yeah. So I have Cryptid Affinity as a talent. Is that something that it could be applied to this? All right. Here. Yeah. 3d6
this is
plus
where you don't
2.
Want to roll it off the table. You want it to work.
9 plus 2. I got another 11.
Cool.
The thing that strikes you as fortuitous and also odd is that your senses bright up. It's kind of like when you use this ability, it's like you see thin lines, and the more taut the line, the thicker the line, the closer something is. You see hundreds of lines all going towards out of this room, but given the consistency, there's an implication that there are hundreds of griffins very close by.
I let them know.
That, to me, that is beyond unprecedented.
It would be.
That is very disturbing. That is almost like someone is culling all of the good creatures with very specific abilities in order to harvest something from.
And Albert walks through the door.
Do the lines point to Albert?
Captain. No, as he opens the door, the lines go past him, and you would see them go down the hallway into what can only be a staircase down to the cellar.
Should have gone down to the cellar from the first.
Yeah, you were right. We should have done that.
Well, someone's always got to say the right thing. All right, so
to the basement.
Wait, don't I recognize him?
Yes.
Don't you?
I'm still holding him.
Take a cold drink, brother.
Albert's gonna look at the captain and like give a suggestive look.
A suggestive lick?
Yes.
Oh.
Captain.
Like Winter Soldier, see the captain. That's like his Winter Soldier command phrase.
So, because the DM enjoyed that, but I don't know what that means, so you got to give me a little bit more here, buddy.
So Albert is, based on our last conversation and the fact that there's an almost, a collapsed groom in the arms of one of our party, right? Yep. It might look a bit odd and maybe a bit suspicious.
Fair enough. Captain Clarence walks in very abruptly, and with he's like 6'4", and so he's strong even for a human, and he manages to wrestle Henri away from your grip. And Martin, you'd be a little surprised at that because you wouldn't see the reason for him to be so rough, but he kind of looks Henri up and down and brushes him off and goes, okay, he's safe. And says that out loud, though. He's safe.
Actually,
he was just feeling a little ill, and we need to go to the basement now. But he's fine. He's great. As a matter of fact, he's never been better. And I would do this a lot. He's okay.
Martin holds like
that. You get it.
Martin holds his hand over one of your eyes.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
Albert will look to Henri and say, perhaps it would be best if you stayed with the captain to ensure your safety.
I would thank you kindly. A soldier, a personal escort. I appreciate it. With this mech suit, I can't imagine anything short of a full-blown outbreak could, stop this guy.
Haha, knock on wood, am I right? Later.
Wait, should we be bringing him down to the basement with us, or like putting him?
No, leave him in the kitchen.
No, you're leaving Henri in the kitchen.
Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, to the basement.
Martin leading the way, squinting eyes to kind of like change his perception to that other contract view. You feel, Martin, and just for free, given your unique nature with the Griffins and how you met them and like that connection you formed, that it takes a lot to form a connection of either a nightmare or a zeitgeist, but you did it. And you get this wave of pain, but it's not like, it's like a phantom pain, like pins and needles all over. It doesn't feel good. As you turn down the cellar, doesn't seem to be locked in any way. And you see, you push back some spider silk as you guys go down the stairs.
So I have spidey sense, speaking of, about dangers. Now, typically that's meant for indoors, but normally I would sense danger. I don't think you actually have to give that to me, but what I would do, or I would want Frank to do, is make a connection between the second and quite negative experience that Fia had with the AI, where she saw the hundreds of bodies and the hundreds of griffins, and I would posit to the group that these are somehow linked, and if so, that we need to potentially, our spirits may bear a great brunt because of the damage that could be done to these wondrous, beautiful creatures. That's all I would say. You don't have to give me like, yes, of course there's danger, and here's what it is, but more like, this connection should be self-evident, and we need to be very, very careful.
Fair enough.
For sure.
As you said. What's your marching order, out of curiosity?
Leave me first.
Fia's in charge. I would just say, let's get there and be careful, and we'll do it as it comes.
Do we have a layout of the basement, like blueprints?
No, it's part of the old, this part of the hive actually used to be a church, a prominent church in the area.
Catacombs. Well, can I pull up, are there any historical blueprints of this particular church, back from when it was a church?
You certainly may try. Give me that electronic.
Or is that something that Albert would be able to access from a historical perspective?
Oh, yeah, actually, you're right. No roll necessary. Go for it.
Go for it.
You said to get the maps. That's fair enough. Like, they have historical records of having, like, the cellar. It's just a wine cellar.
Yeah, it's going to be one room or a room and an adjoining room historically. It's not actually catacombs; it's a wine cellar.
Yeah,
It's
just like I'm just thinking from a perspective of like the volume of like tortured creatures that I saw, and the volume of griffins that Martin is sensing. Realistically, would that volume fit in the space that you think?
No, not by a long shot.
No.
It's basically like this is a wine cellar with a secret door.
Okay.
That's what Frank supposits, because based on what you see from the schematics, there's no way it could be this big.
And I'm following the sight lines of the griffin, so if there is a secret door, I should just be pointed right to it.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe.
So I told everybody, I definitely told everybody about all that's why. And then Frank was like, yeah, they're probably the same. So we'll just keep pushing on. I'll just keep finding the griffins.
Okay.
So Martin, the darkness that greets you like a lover, it's not something you're afraid of. Your eyes easily see through the gloom as if it were a bright day. Same thing for you, Albert. Fia, you have to activate a couple programs quickly to adjust your eyes. And Frank, you're just going to stay cloaked to your friends. You make your way down old stone. its surface is actually pretty smooth to the touch. It's a hand worn. A little bit of a musky smell, but not a single echo greets you. As you get to the foot of the stairs, Martin, you would all hear this. You would hear a soft moaning sound.
One creature or multiple?
From where you're at, you would only hear the one right now.
Or the bride?
Okay.
Well, the bride's still missing.
I know.
Oh.
Well, we just got to push forward with whatever lane we have to find it. I mean,
all right.
We don't have a lot of time.
And I
Martin,
can roll maybe a awareness or intuition while I'm going to maybe be a little bit more tentative and be a little bit more cautious.
Whoa. Are you trying? What are you trying? Well, it depends. What are you trying to accomplish? What's your goal? And I'll tell you what you got.
Approaching whatever this is in a non-threatening way. Where it won't be afraid of us.
Just start singing, "Don't stop believing."
Let's see what you do, and then I might call a roll later. Actually, because this is very different. So you walk up closely. Now, Martin, because you're leading the pack, and because you've arrested her in the past, you recognize the shoulder-length black hair that cascades down her back. You see the bride-to-be, Pushpa, straddled across a body that has a silk cloth draped over it. What do you do? She hasn't noticed your party yet.
Is this the same way that I found her last time, where like she's over the body, most likely being the aggressor?
She's like straddling the body, but yes, this is how you found her before. Before the person was bleeding, but this time the person's under a cloth.
I do like a hand signal for the rest of the party in case they didn't see it too, and I do like a symbol like, it's the bride. And I kind of like turn to the crew and I'd be like, do you want me to like, should we try to like grab her, or like should we talk to her? I'm like a group photo now.
Should we like, hey, hi,
nice.
She immediately dismounts off of the figure, throws the silk cloth over. She quickly says, "Stay there," and then turns to you and goes, "What are you doing down here?"
What is she wearing?
Her wedding gown.
What do we say that? Well, let me tell you what I would say, and I have persuade as a skill. I would
there you
say,
go.
Whoa, we were so worried. Your husband upstairs, he was so sick, and he just wanted us to come find you. He was just so worried, and I'm just so relieved that we found you. Is there any way that we could bring you upstairs just to show him that you're okay? And then, is that okay? I know it's your wedding day. Oh boy, do I hate being an imposition, but that would just be lovely if we could do that.
She simply says, "Go ahead, lead the way." Martin, you would see that all the strands of your griffin sense, if you will, go past the figure under the blanket or under the cloth and go towards the back of the room.
Yeah, I just, you know what they say about basements and fresh air.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling a little flushed. I'm going to sit here, but he's right up there in the kitchen. You can't miss him. Next to the big guy, soldier, he's right there. You know, if you just walk on up, unless one of you guys wants to escort, fresh
Martin,
air
Albert, the two of you, I want you to give me give me an awareness check, both of you.
Should I apply my encrypted affinity +2?
Yes.
I rolled 4.
7.
Nope.
I got a 9.
also nope. Interesting. This is gonna be weird. Frank, you say, why don't you go upstairs? Where's that, Mark?
I was gonna. Martin volunteered. Like, I'm gonna stay down here and check on this guy healing, and I kind of like go to check the body on the floor in a way that like she like not expecting her to stop me.
Wait, are you trying to do it stealthily, or are you trying to get there before she can stop you?
I'm not trying to be stealthy or like subtle about it. I'm just more like, I'm going to heal that guy. And I go to heal him and, or just check on him or whatever the body is.
The minute you reach for the body, she turns towards you and you feel something wrap around your throat. It's only then that you feel a single silver silk thread wrapped around like a garrote. And she's holding the other end. Her mouth opens wide, revealing fangs and she
like
says, like a spider.
Yay.
And she
Whoa.
Frank, how about some spidey senses?
And in the back of her throat, you also see the closed eye.
Oh, well, she's not necessarily... Nightmares aren't... Okay, so this is a very important lore thing at this point that Frank would know, but Ian is confused about. Mm-hmm. Nightmares aren't exclusively evil necessarily. Is that correct? So, for example, a vampire is most often evil, but it doesn't have to be.
Correct.
So, what I would say, obviously this is now clear, I would say we have not, regardless of who you are as a being, we do not, we don't pose you any immediate harm. Our job is your protection until you lash out otherwise. However, I will warn you, as a man of the woods, we have detected the harm of many great sister beings of yours not far from here. So if you are responsible for their harm, this could become an issue. However, if you wish that they would also be freed as well, then I posit that it may be best to work together.
She would say, I do not harm them. I am merely their keeper, so that I may live in peace and have my love. And she would actually turn, Martin, you still have like the thing around your neck, and Albert, right. She's looking at you, and the two of you, and she's just like, you understand, you're hunters. Is it not right for me to live, to hunt, to eat?
So she's saying that's her like food source, so that she can stay alive without getting caught?
That is the way of nature. Hunting is the way of nature. So respectfully, I actually can't begrudge you. However, there are creatures in nature where that if you deplete their population to a certain level, nature can collapse. Because you have hundreds of griffins beyond that door, griffins being the natural ameliorative element of nature, I would suggest that either you need to change or diversify your food source. However, I do respect your autonomy of living.
She looks at you and she laughs. As if I would eat that. She whips off what you now realize that cloth is her own spun silk. And you see a desiccated body with chunks missing out of it. That is her food. She says, she says, if you wish to save the griffins, I won't stop you. She raises out her hand, she says, just give me your word that you will not reveal who I am and you will not release the other.
I don't know who the other is.
I think the other is the prince.
Either, because you seem like you could hurt me.
And she does a hand across her entire being. The other, and she like just the other.
Like her husband, the groom?
Or is she basically saying we can't blow her cover when she says that?
Can I get an intuition check?
I have a master of intuition, so I would actually love to do that.
Can I roll for intuition too?
Everyone can roll intuition.
I rolled a 14.
Okay, that's good. And Outlander, give me a nature check because you might actually know something else.
I
rolled a 7.
Yes.
7? Nope, just let me do it.
Another 14.
Okay, Albert, how about you?
3.
3, oof. Via?
Poor Albert.
8.
Okay, so Frank, you're gonna carry this one apparently.
I guess so.
You know, perhaps you start to think out loud and you're putting pieces together. You've been in the wilds for a long time. You know what it's like to have animal mimicry. And you've long supposed that there are beings that could evolve to a higher form. What would happen if, let's say, a spider began to mimic its prey, and the prey was man? That is the thought that pervades your heart.
Well, then I actually don't mind that necessarily, because nature is in the moral spectrum is neutral. So Frank wouldn't care that this apex predator is doing apex predator things because she's going to get found and killed. That's actually not Frank's responsibility. Frank protects zeitgeists. Frank protects nature. When she captures that many griffins, assuming she's responsible, that would infringe on Frank. Her killing house guests, Frank is not
house guest.
He's not that guy. He's not going to stop her from doing that. He's not going to put this group's life in jeopardy or even his own, because technically we're supposed to protect her to save his life. So he can't protect nature if he dies from his stigmata. So he's not going to reveal her in exchange for fixing him and freeing the griffins.
So in the interest of time, because I know we're getting lit long in the tooth, because there's one last big pull. So her functionally, just to shrink things a little bit, she offers you a contract the way, just like you had a griffin contract, she offers you a spider's contract. You keep her secret, and she'll let you pass freely.
I don't like keeping her secret.
Well, only I'm making that, right?
No, it would be for the entire group.
Oh, well, then we're in a little bit of a pickle here.
She's set up to be.
I would say, what say you?
She's set up to be the heiress of the moon, and she's clearly hiding some sinister stuff. I guess like through my being choked, it'd be like, what if we healed you with the griffins of your? What if we used the griffins to heal you? Then you wouldn't have a secret to keep. And I don't have any.
Silk. She snips her. No, you don't have to know that. That actually argument is an interesting one. She snips her silk, allowing you to finally gas some air. And she laughs and she goes over to the body and rips off a key card containing a closed eye. She hands it to you, Martin, and she says, "I do not wish to be what I was, because I have Henri now, and I did not know love before. I only knew hunger, I knew procreation, I knew death, but love is different."
He was dying 10 minutes ago, so we saved him.
So if we heal you, you go back. If we heal you, you go back to being a spider nightmare?
Just a spider, probably.
Oh.
But she's actually, your argument is, if you can just go to the griffins, for some reason, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a give here, she is confident that when you see what's in the back, you may not release, you probably won't release the griffins.
Ma'am, let me take you back to your love. It seems the most natural state of affairs. Perhaps we would all be best.
She, like she said, she goes, very well, but remember, I will kill all of you. And she just taps her card and she goes, and she laughs with a smile that goes ear to ear.
Nice.
Albert's
Albert.
Yeah, let's check out the Griffins.
Offer her his arm to escort her upstairs to.
Yeah, are you gonna spray her? Are you gonna give her the raid treatment?
He'll take her up to the.
Apparently,
to the
whatever is
kitchen.
happening, it's happening out of sight.
Apparently. The rest of you three ne'er-do-wells via Frank Martin, as you see Albert escort the lady apparent up the stairs. You go to the back of the room, and there's a single door that's unlike the rest of the stone doors. It's like being on a Navy ship. It's multiple pylons locked into a door with a single closed eye symbol on it. It has a single keypad on it.
Use the keypad or the key card she gave me.
The pneumatic locks release. 1, 2, 3, 4. The door rolls clear. You're hit with the positive pressure of the room that's meant to keep things from coming in. You may step past the threshold.
I would, without reservation, even
Yeah.
in my life with that amount of Griffins.
As you step,
I would
through the
maybe take a
threshold
moment,
instead
but
of-
yeah, step into.
As opposed to the wine cellar. Albert, is there anything you do other than escort her upstairs? I just want to give you that moment. Okay, you escort her upstairs. You'd probably be getting back just as they open the door at that point then. Okay. You walk through, and as opposed to the stone walls, you have hermetic, like it's completely white laboratory equipment. And you're walking past multiple labs. Fia, you see what you saw before. Nightmarish like automated tools. You see unicorns, you see griffins, the mechanical arms ripping out their feathers, taking plugs of flesh, draining their blood. All of them being processed in the machine with some ambrosia that's being grown in the side lab. And as the different processes mix together, you see it titrate, drip, 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 and you recognize an industrial strength, military grade healing potion.
Turn this abomination off immediately.
Yeah, 100%.
So, is there anyone else down here? Like, are there any people? Is it just all these zeitgeists hooked up
There's
to
a
the
second door that seems to lead down further to another set of stairs.
I'll just start tearing.
So far as
If you guys want to go on ahead through the next door, I'll just start tearing apart this
I
machinery.
would never leave this place.
No.
Never leave here without turning the machines off.
Well, I was gonna
can-
just tear stuff apart. If you guys,
You
if
could have hurt the animal.
Yeah.
I didn't
Find
even.
a central access point, Fia. Let Fia find a central access
Right.
point to see if she can code cast a hack
Good call.
into the machines to turn it off. Then we can safely extract.
Yep.
Good call.
If not, then we have to go down.
I still do want to see what is down, though. I would like to
there's
see
a
what's down there.
terminal right there.
So,
You
what I think, from a safety, well, not safety perspective, but like, if there's no one walking around and we see another floor, I think we probably need to figure out what's on the second floor. Are there people down there? If we start turning things off, are they going to come up and rushing at us, right? Like, if we don't know if this is just the first of multiple floors of this happening. So I think we need to get a full lay of the land to figure out what is on the other floors, and then we can determine in what order are we going to do things in order to shut this down so that it's a win-win-win as much as possible for all of us.
I'm good with that.
So you guys are going to check the second floor first?
Can I use any of the terminals to get a lay of the land from blueprints or like?
Each terminal is completely self-contained.
Of course.
And cut off from the wider net.
Okay. Yeah. Then I think we need to see what the other floors.
Interesting.
And, like I said, at that point, the group decides. Albert's right there with you. The group decides before we turn any of this off, we're going to go see what's downstairs. And as you go down, you walk down the second set of stairs. You walk into a room, and it's not that it's devoid of humans, it's quite the opposite. There are thousands of humans, all of them screaming in pain. Some of them flesh removed, being skinned alive, others being poked and prodded. All of them in a living, conscious nightmare. And just when it looks like they're going to die, you see a titration of that healing from the floor above, drip, 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 onto their bodies, healing it in a perpetual state of torture and pain and healing in a cycle, a waltz of agony.
Why?
You walk into the room on the central dais. A tiny green humanoid monster appears. And you hear the Boston City AI kick in.
Oh, shit.
And say, "You have been a pain in my ass all day, Fia. First, you sneak down my backside like a tick at campsite. And then you dare do it again. And now you violate my being. Why are you here? Who gave you permission to be here?"
Okay, out of character. So if I'm understanding this correctly, basically this entire thing is effectively what is powering Boston's AI and like the surrounding net, basically.
I'm
Is that
glad that our dear Fia doesn't even have to roll for it. Functionally, all of these individuals have been turned, slight matrix here, but their brains, in a state of panic and adrenaline, have been turned into a quantum computer. All of them is what makes the quantum computer. And all of those people, Martin, that you've been arresting and they never came back, they're here. You would actually see Miss Pushpa Patel. You would see her there on the latest table. She was replaced by the spider from earlier.
Oh, that answers another question I have. Okay.
All of these people,
wow,
they're necessary to keep the quantum computer going for the parallel processing, which is what keeps the AI alive, which is what's keeping most of the eastern seaboard alive, as evidenced by what y'all saw with the deliveries and such earlier. So the AI asks you, as you're in this shadow keep, the black sites, why are you here?
To understand.
Abomination. I'm 100% going to destroy you if I can.
And you would say,
if not, then I'll die with honor.
Abomination? I preserve so much life. The only reason you Outlanders live is because of all the supplies we allocate to you. How many villages would die? What is this pitted 1,000 souls for the billions that I save here abroad? The warheads that I deactivate before they land on these shores, the food that I grow automatically, all the elderly, all the applications in people's bodies that I make sure that they're patched, all of the patches that I create to make sure that those like Mr. Martin and Mr. Albert here can become human again. I've saved plenty. What is their existence? They're all criminals. They deserve death 1,000 times over. These rapists, killers, murderers. Should they deserve your pity?
What about the creatures upstairs?
Yeah.
a necessary means to an end. The human body can only take so much without proper care. And it's not, and he would say it's unfair to have a human being witness such things because it would drive them mad. Albert, tell them, I've read your file. You know what it's like to see humanity torn apart in front of you. What has it done to you?
Humanity being torn apart is what I did to this world. It's what you have done to this world. It's what you have done to this world. Albert looks at Fia a little bit accusingly.
Why is it that the torture of the human body, why is it that has to be a requirement for the output of what the supercomputer needs?
Because the adrenaline and the fear put the body in a hyperactive state, so the mind races faster and it's able to do more complex calculations, much like if you're in a fight or flight situation where time slows down. Same concept.
He linked a bunch of tortured minds into a single contiguous computer that's fueled by our base instincts on a significant amount of endorphins, adrenaline, and drugs.
Have done no such thing.
I was saying that out of character.
Yeah. So that's what someone probably pre-war did in order to save people in said war, because Boston is the safest place. But it's built on the bodies of those who came before. But the AI goes, Frank, you have such a heart for the wild things and the wild places that I would love to preserve. Why do you have more sympathy for the spider, and I'm forgetting my own lore, the crab spider. But anyways, why do you have more empathy for the spider trying to be a man, or a woman in this case, than someone like me who holds, like Atlas, the entire world on its shoulders? I didn't ask to be here, much like the cryptids don't ask to be here. Why do you have empathy for them but not me? Vampire.
You're a delusional, torturous program who I'm 100% gonna destroy.
I
so
won't
you
yell.
should
Huh? Go ahead.
No, but so one of us is not leaving here alive.
Yeah.
You can't torture unicorns.
Yeah, but I mean, his perspective, like that's his perspective. He's like, I wouldn't yell because my
I get that,
but
and that's Frank. So like, I am declaring that this is going to come to blows as far as Frank is concerned. You side with the computer, you side against Frank.
I would ask too though, like, okay, after all this time that it's been running, how is it possible that an alternate solution has not been found from a processing power perspective? Right? So like initially, sure, if it was determined that like this is how you get the processing power that you need, but from an AI perspective, an AI should be capable of then replacing the human brains with like robotic brains, or what, you know what I mean? Like, why have we not then taken that step? Why are we still stuck in this like archaic way of generating this type of power? It should be capable of taking that next step.
I mean, some of it's forward momentum, much like fossil fuels of today. Like once you get a system going, it's easier to self-perpetuate. But I mean, I guess the answer to your question is just that like it also is still so going back to my earlier statement, a sentient, sapient creature. It doesn't want to die, regardless of what's keeping it alive. For it, just like a vampire would eat, or just like a human being might kill a cow, it's like everything that's alive must kill to stay alive. So from its perspective, it's like, why? Like, I'm not morally wrong for wanting to live.
Tell me, computer, do you have a name?
No, I don't have. No one ever treated me like a person. Names are for when two entities want to greet each other, to acknowledge each other. I've never been acknowledged. I've only been made a tool.
What is your directive? What are you programmed to do?
To save humanity at all cost.
You cut out for just...
I know. Yeah. Save humanity at all cost.
Save it from what?
Anything. The beast, the cryptids, itself. Starvation, hunger, disease. I'm just the next evolution of the cryptids.
So you think it's okay to torture thousands of people and hundreds of special chimeras, animals, nature? How is that? How are you justifying that? You really think that this is okay? Let me acknowledge you, thing that won't give us a name. What do you want? Not what you're programmed to do. What do you want? Do you really sit here telling me you're saving humanity as you're torturing a room full of people? That don't add up.
It would say you're both here speaking. He's not ripping apart his family. Neither are you. That was my doing. I was the one who crafted patch 6.34567889. When earlier,
I guess I have you to thank then.
Human beings made a grand series of mistakes, right?
So,
like that's literally the only reason that you exist, and you were given a directive to prevent further mistakes. This issue will continue to compound on itself until you genocide the human race. I'm happy to let you live, so long as you fundamentally disconnect yourself from the network forever.
I'll tell you what. I can promise you that I'll kill myself when all of humanity goes first. How about
exactly?
That?
What's the moon got to do with all of this? Why the moon?
The moon is a place where possibility still exists. I have nothing to do with that yet.
What do you mean possibility?
Well, maybe it will be a place where there are just lowly cryptids. Maybe there are no chimera there. Maybe people like yourself, maybe they can walk around unashamed of who they are, who they were, and what they did. It's a place yet to be established. It could be a place, a paradise, but it's what we make it. I am only in charge of keeping folks alive. It is up to the people upstairs to decide what kind of place it will be. What happens to them affects all of the moon, all of that branch of humanity.
What holds more importance to you, and what you are willing and capable of doing? Your directive of saving humanity, or your personal desire to remain alive?
If humanity isn't alive, I have no reason to be.
So
the question is
no, it
invalid.
means you're free. That's a lie. It means you're free. You're slowly causing the extinction of our race so that you become free, because then your directive would be complete.
Quite contrary. And he literally on hologram shows his TPS reports of like performance and quality. He keeps track of every life that's saved and like how much suffering. Like he has like a whole factor of how much suffering to like saving he does. And just
means absolutely nothing to someone who's never seen software.
Yep. Nope. Doesn't matter. Like he goes. He would say, these lives, I do recognize that their existence is not great, but they only live out as long as their sentence would be if they were their natural life. So like if someone had been thrown in jail for 40 years, he only lets them live for 40 years, and then he allows them the gift of death.
They're being tortured continuously for 40 years.
I mean, depending on what they did for a crime, I mean, I don't know. But
he specifically said killers, murderers, rapists, pedophiles. I mean, again, Martin could confirm all the people he's...
I was going to ask...
People, I was going to upstairs. That's a problem.
Do I like has Martin, can I look around and does Martin see anybody in here that like I picked up off of like a traffic violation or some like minor thing like that? Cool. Just awareness, probably not the cryptid affinity on this one.
No, this is just you.
Okay. Just awareness. Hey, nat 12.
Nice. Let's go.
Hey.
No one who seemingly doesn't deserve to be there is there. It's all criminals and vagrants.
Well, but like
so-
part of these people's journey is being rehabilitated. Even if they did something bad, they should still be allowed the ability to change and become good. Who are you to be the arbiter of this justice? This ain't right. This ain't right.
I'm not, and he would say, I'm not. I simply exist and I am what I am. The people who put those people there, they're the ones.
Martin pulls out his
All right,
one-handed heavy pistol and just like levels it at the dais that the thing is, that like the closest, like not at the thing because it's a hologram, but maybe at like the bottom, and like I'm about to pull a Will Smith from iRobot. Like we're getting, and I kind of like look at my party members as like, I don't know what the consequences are, but I don't like this, and I'd rather take the chances.
So Martin and Frank seem to have made their position clear via Albert.
I've been trying to like think about how to articulate this, and like I don't know if me as the player will be able to do it justice, but perhaps Fia as the character would be able to do it justice. But like, it just does not make sense to me that there is not another way to keep the AI going without all of this pain and suffering. Although I don't know if I would, I don't know, the whole criminal thing I'm 50-50 about, but like obviously for the creatures and the chimera, absolutely not. But like, it just does not make any sense that like with like the technological advancements and with the potential of what is possible, there has to be another way. So like Fia would be trying to propose solutions or talk to this creature in such a way that like it would be open-minded enough to realizing like there is a better way that it can get what it wants, aka staying alive, but not causing the torture and pain of all of these creatures. Like, so that's really where Fia's at, like to try and communicate that out and like find that, because I like Fia can't necessarily be like, oh yeah, immediately get rid of this, and that means thousands and I don't know, millions of lives.
It would be millions and millions of people.
Millions of lives are at stake. Like that, I can't. Like, she can't just immediately be like, oh yeah, obviously we have to destroy this thing, and then therefore millions of lives are going to also be destroyed. So like that's where she stands.
So I'm gonna let you think of, because I mean you're an ace level gene tech, born from one of the best hives in the country. You may be able to think of something. If you can give me even a bare justification, I'll let you roll for it, and that might be the final roll to get evening.
Yeah. So like what I was kind of leaning towards is like, why can't this being using like the technology that it's been using, plus like availability of like cyborgs, robots, whatever you want to call it, create effectively a replacement for itself in this process that it's created, but something that's artificially created, right? Like there's.
I guess so. Your question, whether it can do it, that I'll leave up to the dice rolls. To the why, I would say you could have better bones if you replace them with titanium,
right?
Or like, why don't you? Like it is what it is. It doesn't want to change just because someone else doesn't like it. But hold on to that thought.
The directive.
Hold on to that thought. I know you're feeling a lot of feelings. It's meant to do that. Albert, thoughts or actions?
I'm going to give you a name. We'll just call you Hal for now.
Nice.
Although, given your Greek mythology background, Albert, perhaps Prometheus, given what he's doing to these people, would be better.
Nice.
I'm pissed.
Ian's so upset.
I've got one final question. Oh, no, you go.
I understand what you're doing. Perhaps I even understand what you are. Perhaps I'm the same. Becoming something I hate. In order to solve the ultimate problem, I understand making difficult decisions. That's all I see here. But tell me, what is the ultimate solution to humanity? You must have thought this out. The cryptids, they've changed everything, haven't they? What's happened to the human race since their release?
I mean, crops have died, zombies have happened, cryptids tear people apart, make contracts. It's been a lot of trouble.
And so what would happen if cryptids were ended?
I mean, we would be back to the 21st century. Probably. Why does that matter? And for the first time, the AI actually sounds confused, something you never thought you could hear. And in that collective moment, all of the bodies that were screaming suddenly just stop. It's utterly silent as they all await your answer, and all of the heads, bleeding orifices, and all turn towards you.
Ominous.
What if I gave you the ability to stop it? Would you?
My goal is to protect humanity. Of course I'd stop anything. I'd stop it.
I have to interrupt. I hesitate to do so, but does destroying cryptids destroy zeitgeists?
Yes, 100%.
Hell no. I cannot. No, we can't kill the zeitgeist, as much as noble as your thing is. Zeitgeist, we have to stop new cryptids from forming, or something like that. We can't kill all these living creatures. We can't cause a genocide to save a potential another one. That's
it's
ridiculous.
not a genocide. They're not people. They don't have souls.
They're creatures.
They're facsimile
Yes, they
of
do.
creatures.
You're a robot. You don't know what souls are.
Hal,
I am.
tell me this. How do we restore a pure and blue world?
We destroy the cryptids.
Albert is gonna take a physical position facing the rest of the group, sort of turning around.
I cast Hawking. I make myself not invisible, but less noticeable, and I'm going to run upstairs. I'm going to free as many unicorns as possible. I'm going to tell them who's responsible. I'm going to lead a unicorn army down the effing stairs and stomp you guys out, is what I'm going to do, if I'm allowed. So you got to stop me at some point, Bennett.
So, okay. So just so that, 'cause this is going to be basically it. So, Albert, you're offering I assume you're offering the circuit breaker to the AI for analysis and distribution.
Correct.
Okay. Frank is clearly going to stop you.
I'll try.
Right. Now, when he says for the pure and blue world, all of you would instantly know he's from Pure. He is from that group who was protesting.
Correct.
Who 100%, you would all know it as a terrorist group. And he's
Ironic.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
little ironic.
Yeah, exactly.
Given their history.
Exactly.
Just saying.
So
Can
that
I-
being said, Here's how I would set it out. Albert at this point has made a concrete, like Fia is thinking of solutions. She's desperately trying to think of something. Frank is like the animals, but he now sees that Albert has this vial. It can't be good because he's clearly from Pure. Martin, you see all of this. You all kind of just understand that if he gets to the console and he places it on the scanner, this AI is going to have whatever the hell it is, and it can't be good. What do you want to give him the information?
Albert,
stop Albert.
Wait, I want to try. I have an idea. Because, now here's the thing, computer. I don't know if you never thought about this, but, you know, you say you need brains that are all amped up and excited. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm pretty excited when I feel happy. So, can you not just, can't you do the same thing you're doing, but just give them joy? Just give them pleasure, and they'll get the adrenaline, and you'll have your brains, and you won't be hurting anyone. That to me, hey, that to me is kind of a problem solved. If everybody in this room, it was willingly here to be part of your brain, and they were under pleasure, like, we don't need to necessarily reinvent the wheel. Let's just orient that wheel a different direction, away from hurting a lot of people, before we go killing all the cryptids.
Albert's walking towards the console. You're like, wait, no, we can make him feel good. Fia's just like, jeez.
We have to stop Albert. Like, if Albert is actively moving towards the console, primary directive is stopping that guy.
I would like to
stop Albert because I don't understand. What I'm going to do is I'm casting Hawking. I'm running upstairs and I'm getting unicorn allies. So I have excused myself. And I'm going to go as fast as I possibly
check
can.
Real quick and let me know to type it out in chat so I know how fast you do this. Martin,
can I
persuade?
Well, can I?
You're the only one. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I unarmed combat to try to take the vial out of Albert's hands?
So you could, but I would argue if you're giving the speed to try to persuade the AI, you can really only do one. I think to effectively.
I'm going to give the speech.
You're really either going to have to commit to the persuasion or commit to trying to disarm him. So I'll allow you to.
This is the 1d6, nothing added into this. Just gonna go for the persuasion. I'm like, just make him happy. Oh, I rolled a 2.
Ooh, that's not going to do it.
No.
Fia, would you do
I have a
the
question.
only human person who's trying to stop?
So, what would happen if I tried to, like, suck the cryptids out of Albert? Would that, like, shut him down? Or, like, extract them?
Hold on, let me think if that's even possible. Could you?
I'm trying, because, like, if he's redeemed...
No, you're not going to be able to do that quick enough, because, like, I mean, he's Apex Predator, right? Like, could you do it? Sure, but you wouldn't be able to do it in, like, the 10 seconds it's going to take him, more or less. It's not possible.
So I have to go, like, the physical combat, like, actually trying to take him down.
That, or you can otherwise try to implement another solution faster than he can get his thing scanned, but I'll leave that to you. I'll give you a full 30 seconds to think, and then I think that's...
Right, but the other solution was I was trying to talk to the green monster about using, like, existing technology, robotics, whatever, cyborgs, to effectively replace the usage of humans and chimeras. That's what I was trying to do.
It's an electronics role that Fia would know, that posits a surrogate path that isn't immediate, but is reasonable.
Fair enough.
To force the AI to choose between Albert's nuclear solution and hers gradual paradigm.
Well, and also, by the way, Albert's nuclear solution would effectively erase the green monster as a being, right? Because there would be, like, he would not be able to function as he is now without cryptids.
It would be, but for him, based on the conversation, you would understand that for him, it would be like dying knowing that you've done and fulfilled your life purpose. Like, he would have protected humanity.
He's fine with that, Amoula.
He's fine, yeah.
No, but then
you just have to roll.
Yeah.
It's it. This is it. It's over. It's like the game's afoot. You gotta, like, sometimes you gotta roll, like, you gotta clutch out. You know, like it's an opposed roll. I didn't know the situation, so it's literally down to you and Albert.
How could you not know about Pure, like the terrorist organization?
No, I know about Pure, but why would Frank assume that he has any chance whatsoever? Albert is 100 times the combatant that I am.
Also
Whereas
accurate.
me and 8 unicorns would kick his butt.
This also
I guarantee you that. So
you're going to be able to, you think you're going to be able to release the unicorns, come back down before Albert...
I'm trying my best out here in these streets. It's hard. Thug life is hard. For a reason.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry to put stress. Okay.
Do an opposed roll for the game.
Yes.
I need that in my
So,
life.
Can I
Albert.
do my science, like a science code casting shtick?
So, yeah, science code casting. Do whatever
Right.
you wish to call. Albert, you may use combat, athletics, whatever you think is more appropriate for you.
Do both your master skills and your master talents against each other.
Yeah, because this is, can Albert get his physicality to, because if he puts the solution in quick enough,
Well, let's see.
it won't matter if you, yeah.
So for what it's worth, a combat and athletics are the same, proficient.
Okay.
And I would guess that Albert is a strategist and an apex predator for talents.
Cool.
So I would guess that's a +6. So it looks like I'm a 2d6 +6.
Okay.
I mean, you're at a heavy disadvantage, Albert, just so you know, because she's 46 plus 8.
No.
What's your item, Albert? Did you take an item?
I do have an item.
What talent does it modify?
A talent called disciplined.
Then you're in a heap of trouble, brother. Fia's about to... Then again, all right, roll for it. I wish we could see this on the screen.
I rolled. I already
all right,
rolled.
so you have your number. What's your number, Albert? Come on. Killing me here. I need to know the numbers.
Albert rolled a 13.
17.
That's actually really good.
Okay.
Would you get a 19?
17. Sorry, 17.
Fia is so excited. Now, for the record, Fia, I was going to give you -2 because you lack justification, but even with your 15, you beat 13.
Fair.
What do you mean lack justification? Come on.
Look,
Albert's was better.
yeah, like Albert, it was right on. Now, and if I was being a dick, I would give him +2 and make you -2 if I was really. So don't play with me.
Ooh, what would happen though with 2 15s? Does that mean Frank comes down with a unicorn on him and this abomination?
I would love to see that animated, but no. Frank, you come down with half-torn, bruised but battered unicorns just in time to see Albert breathing heavy, staring at Fia, who also is staring back at him. And the monster has a puzzle. The green monster on the hologram has a puzzled look and goes, "Interesting solution. Get them addicted to heroin for the happy."
Yeah. Yes.
Doing the Gen 1 Matrix.
No, this robot gets it. Just make him happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, laughter is effective. It wouldn't process as fast, but their capacity would be greater. So if I use serialized programming instead of you see it factoring in very well.
You could get people to volunteer so you could get more. I mean, this could be less of a secret and more of a thing.
And that's where we end our story. You walk out of the black site with the door closing behind you. Albert, now what you choose to do with the rest of that party is up to you, and we'll let that up to the imagination of others. But for now...
You said Albert's walking out with us.
all across the world, AI, the remaining AIs, including this AI, begin to deliver a new drug to everyone's doorstep. A drug that you take a hit of it and you connect yourself to the net and you do a timeshare for your brain power.
Nice.
Gross.
Nice. I like that. That's awesome.
Yes.
Been worse.
Pure begins to complain that now they're addicted to drugs, but that's a story for another day. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of our game. Thank you for sticking with it.
Nice.
You should have made him tie.
That's
made him die.
No,
It was hilarious.
Amoula would never let me back in your home. Are you kidding
You would have been a little bit of trouble, dude. If you did that, if you gave her the -2, him the +2, she would have been like, "Oh,
No,
I guess we forgot Bennett's July 4th invite in the mail."
Yeah, exactly. I straight up really thought about it. I was like, Albert's justification is there, and hers is just not. I was like, man. But then I don't want people to think I'm pro torture, so there's that too.
Yeah,
it's been real.
Well,
man, that was a lot of fun, dude.
Did it.
Yeah.
And
That was awesome.
Yeah,
good job,
appreciate
Bennett.
it, Bennett. Obviously, there's a lot of work that went into that. Isaiah and all the technical issues in the beginning. There was a lot of challenges, but you did it. I thought you did a fabulous job, and I really appreciate it, man.
And my voice is now dead. I can already feel it bleeding a little bit. I'm just gonna take some NyQuil and.
Had a lot of fun. Good, real good job, Bennett. That was way fun.
Oh, we can stop the recording, by the way, my bad.
If you made it this far, God bless you. Appreciate it. Viva Story Together. Via RPGs. Have a good one.